Some of the greatest tailgating can be found just outside Tiger Stadium, the second oldest facility in the SEC. And hello, everyone. I am Tim Brando. Welcome to a place where college football is religion and where it's a way of life, a true happening. You know, Dave Rowe was supposed to be with me. What happened to him? Dave, over here, big fella. Get away from the chicken, for crying out loud. We've got a ball game to do.
Sorry, just based on a little bit of chicken. What a pregame meal. Unbelievable pregame meal. Little shrimp, crawfish etouffee, a little bit of chicken. But I'm talking to the choir because you're from Louisiana. You know all about this food.
I do. You know, in my 40 years as a native of Louisiana, I don't know that I've ever seen a coach with a higher Q rating than Jerry DiNardo. I mean, think about it. McClendon, Dietzel, Arnsparger, some big names in the business, and yet he's stolen hearts with a 7-4-1 season a year ago and a 5-1 start this year.
Oh, absolutely. Brooklyn born, of course, from Notre Dame, a Yankee. A lot of people will tell you that he wasn't the first, second, or third choice, but he's made believers out of this LSU team. He's waved this magic wand over these fans, and he's made them believers. And when you think of Jerry DiNardo, you think of the running game, and he's got an outstanding running game in Falk and Mealy, and we're going to see a lot of them today. They are outstanding backs.
It has been a difficult transition for Joe Lee Dunn as defensive coordinator at Mississippi State, but the one thing about his defense, it's been solid against the run.
Well, he has played well against the run. In talking with Joe Lee Dunn, I said, hey, you got to have a defense today for the run. He said, don't worry, I'm ready.
A little blitzing on the bayou, courtesy Mississippi State and LSU. And when you think of Tiger football, day or night, you think of tradition outside, but when you go inside, the place explodes.
Today's Bell South SEC Game of the Week is brought to you by Bell South. It's all here. By Nationwide Insurance. Check the yellow pages for the Nationwide agent nearest you. By CarQuest Auto Parts Stores. For the CarQuest store nearest you, call 1-800-492-HEART. By Duckhead. Traditional casual clothing since 1865. Life's a road trip. Pack your Duckhead. By Mazda. Experience cars and trucks built with a passion for the road. Mazda. And by Sonic, where we invite you to drive in for a change.
Babonzito. Oh.
Parce que me voulait faire jeune gens, même journée là.
Language. It's how we communicate with each other. But not all of us speak the same one. So at Bell South, we have people you can reach who speak several languages, whether it's Creole or even English.
I'm so glad you have me good.
Bell South, it's all here.
Come on, baby. Enjoy your stuff. Work it hard for me, baby. Can't get enough. Best shot. All the boys, they're watching you. They work it, woman. You know that's true. And when you do, you'll be my little baby blue. Hey up, boys.
It's back. SE5.
Gotta go for a ride.
Customized with air, bedliner, cassette stereo, sliding rear window, alloy wheels, and chrome bumpers.
Yeah, sakes alive.
Mazda SE5.
Let me go for a ride.
Just $11,995. Or lease for $189 a month, $1,000 down.
Just let me go for a ride.
Mazda.
Got a passion for the road.
The legendary SE5.
What does your printer think of the paper you put in it?
Oh, no. What's she going to feed me today? If it's not Great White, I could get in a jam and choke. It is Great White. Good.
Your printer has good reason to want to be fed Great White recycled content paper from Union Camp. It's virtually worry-free, so it's as good for your business as it is for the environment. Great White, only from Union Camp. One less thing to worry about.
I could go for seconds.
I could swear I heard something.
That was then back in the 50s, but this is now as the Fighting Tigers of LSU make their way out through the traditional H goalpost, and as usual, Jackie Sherrill comes out when the Tigers come out. As you look at Jerry DiNardo, let's go down to our broadcast partner. He's got his mutters on today, Bob Kessler.
You're right, Tim. It's a little soggy down here. It rained hard last night, all this morning, stopped about 2 hours ago, so the field has dried out just a little bit, but it's still a little soggy in spots, as Tim said. Let's talk about some of the key aspects of today's game. First of all, Mississippi State's defense. Their middle linebacker, Dwayne Curry, won't play today. He's in street clothes. There are a lot of guys in this defense that are banged up. Several guys playing really on only one leg. One of those Eric Brown and Terry Day. So we'll see how long this Mississippi State defense can hang in there. LSU's offensive line, big and nasty, very physical. They like to latch on and pancake guys. We'll see how they do against Mississippi State's big front four. And, of course, State has been a terrific road team all year. They are 2-0 on the road. Today, Derek Tate is expected to be back at quarterback, and we'll see how he plays away from Scott Field.
It's been a difficult week, Bob, for that man, Jackie Sherrill, not only trying to prepare his team for LSU, but losing his father-in-law, Murray Bro. His wife Peggy's dad passed away, and he was at that funeral yesterday. Jerry DiNardo, 6th season as a head coach, but a winner in the purple and gold. A very interesting decision by Joe Dean to hire him. But you know what? It paid big dividends.
Has it really paid big dividends? They've even changed the spelling of his last name to E-A-U-X, DiNardo.
Something known to happen in this state a time or two. Walker will kick off. And Falk and Mealy, that's the Tiger tandem, and they also will bring back the kicks. A short hoops kick, which is taken by an upback at the 33-yard line. That's Clarence LeBlanc, number 18, to give the Tigers some quality field position. To look at the Phillips 66 starting lineups, they like to run behind Faneca and Bordelon on that right side. This is a team that's been bringing along Herb Tyler slowly. If you go back to the days that he took over for Jamie Howard a year ago, this would be about a season-ending game for him. But he's 9-1 as a starting quarterback, including that bowl win in my hometown, Shreveport, at the Independence Bowl. Savoie, the H-back that they will use many times as a blocker, in motion as Falk gets the carry for about a yard or so. Ernest Garner comes up from the defensive end spot to make the stop. And this is an interesting look from Mississippi State, going with 6 down and 5 along the perimeter, a change made by Joe Lee Dunn.
Right, it's going to be a nickel defense, 5 defensive backs, 6 down linemen, and the big focus today is going to be on Ernest Garner, number 54. He's moving from left end to a right defensive linebacker, taking Dwayne Curry's place.
2nd and 9. Savoie again in motion. And it's Falk again, taking a few Bulldogs with him besides the 35 to about the 37-yard line. Again, Garner the first to make contact. Got a little help from Anthony Derricks, who's been moved around from the corner position over to the dog position in a strong safety role. They've got safeties as well as linebackers working in some gaps for Joe Lee Dunn this afternoon.
He loves the blitz, and in talking with him, he said, I've got a blitz designed for the run. He likes to blitz against the run because it gets penetration, disrupts the backs.
3rd down and 4. Mealy is the lone setback. Quick drop for Tyler. He'll tuck it. Pick up the first down beyond the 45 to the 47. Ernest Garner again involved in every play to this juncture for Mississippi State. Makes the stop, a 9-yard pickup. He is a very resourceful quarterback.
Oh, this is a perfect play for him. Tyler looks back, his coverage, got good coverage down there now. Just finds a little spot and comes on down the field. Now, we had a flag on the play.
It's only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5 yards, repeat, 3rd down.
Oh, an illegal formation for LSU, as Al Ford, the referee, tells us, will back them up. And penalties have been a problem for DiNardo's team. They had 11 of them last week in that win against Kentucky. Al Ford, that's the group that's working with him, a veteran crew: Butch Lambert, Gus Morris, Gerald Hodges, George Shuford, Ben Oldham. And Billy Beckett is the back judge today.
This is where Tyler puts a lot of pressure on you because he has that run ability. He can scamper. He's got 3rd down and 9.
Watch for LaFleur here. He's been the possession receiver, the big tight end. They keep him in the block this time. And Gregory Favors with the sack, first of the day for Mississippi State, and you could say that was a coverage sack.
Oh, absolutely a coverage sack. That nickel defense working well. Because watch when he sits back up here, he's looking downfield, nobody open, nobody open. Now he tries to bail out, and once Favors gets that hand on you, he yanks you down. That's a big play for Mississippi State. They're going to get good field position.
Chad Kessler to punt it away. His longest is 55. Now, he takes a while to punt the football. He's had a few blocks in his career. And Mississippi State did get close. Robert Isaac will take it on a hop.
Robert Isaac.
He's up to midfield, trying to keep his feet churning, but he's knocked back at the 48-yard line. A 39-yard punt, 7-yard return. As you look at that Mississippi State offensive line, led by Ainsworth and Smith on the left side, but they are big up front for Jackie Sherrill. Derek Tate will get the start, we're told today, and they are going to use 3 wides more often than we've seen in trying to attack this LSU defense.
Yeah, they want to move Tate out of the pocket, use a little sprint pocket with him, let him go strong side, move around there, and put a little bit more pressure on LSU's defense.
With the conditions the way they are, one might think that they would opt to run Nakia Greer, the big fullback, a bit more often, but they begin out of the shotgun. Quick drop. The out pattern is complete to Lamont Woodbury, the split end, a speed guy that they would love to isolate on linebackers today. LSU's defense has been exploitable up front. Gone are Gilliard and Northern up front. They only have 8 sacks this year. That won't get it done, according to Carl Reese. But this secondary has done an outstanding job. The free safety, Mark Roman, a freshman from New Iberia, is certainly noteworthy. And there's the anchor inside.
Well, that is an anchor inside. Anthony McFarland, 6'1", 290, gets great penetration in the middle.
Isaac bouncing off Bayou Bengals inside the 40 to the 35-yard line. That's an 8-yard pickup and a first down. So 2 plays, both for good yardage.
Boy, I watched that play that time with Ainsworth. 59 is blocking on McFarland. He stands him up right there. Now, that's a lock, and that's a win by the offensive lineman. You got to be able to shed the block. You can see McFarland doesn't come off quick enough. You give a real plus to Ainsworth on that play.
First and 10 at the 36 of LSU. Quick pitch to Isaac, running into the boundary. Ushered out inside the 30 near the 29, Rayon Hill, the young man who had the 2 picks in the Auburn game, 1 for a touchdown and 1 for a 2-point conversion going the other way, as you see Robert Isaac's numbers. This is a young man that Jackie Sherrill's asking a lot of in the wake of losing Kiefer McGee earlier in the year at South Carolina.
Well, anytime you take a player of Kiefer McGee's ability out, you take so much of your offense, puts a lot of pressure on young men like Isaac.
Second down and 3. First back through, that's Greer. And he carries it to the 20-yard line. And if you think of this Mississippi State team, their strength, both offensively and defensively, would be in their down front, which, with the conditions that we see today, could be quite an advantage.
Yeah, interesting. We talked about the field. I don't see anybody slipping out there. A lot of straight-ahead running, but that big offensive line, they are huge. Look at that offensive line weight. They dropped off a little bit from the 2 years ago, but they still average 297 across the front.
Heidi Graham is the wide receiver at the lower portion of your screen, but again, it's between the tackles as Robert Isaac carries to the 15 with a marker down.
It's interesting. We thought that Mississippi State was going to go to that 3-4 wides. They were going to go wide out. Weather has a big factor, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question of that. But the fact that Derek Tate gets the start today allows them the option of going more shotgun and at least using the passing game into the boundary.
Very much so. And Tate's a good scrambler.
5-yard incidental face mask against the defense, tacked on to the end of the run.
Now, it's interesting, the adjustment that's been made by Mississippi State to come out. You know, you have a game plan you practice all week, 3-4 wideouts, and you go back to what your basics are, just running the football.
Right away, Mississippi State is in the red zone, but they haven't been there many times. Now, from the right hash, they have it at the 10-yard line, first down. Pitch again to Isaac following Greer. Good cutback by Isaac inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. You get a sense early that Mississippi State, the hungrier of the 2 teams.
Yeah, I watched a great block that time by Robert Hicks, the outside tackle. He's a strong side tackle. He's pulled out. He's number 76. He leads the play. Boy, he leveled Theo Williams. And boy, I'll tell you one thing, this crowd's got quiet, hasn't it?
You bet. Second and 3. That's Greer. That's a touchdown. Mississippi State. Nakia Greer's first touchdown of the season.
And tackle to tackle, right inside. They get good blocks up the middle, and Greer just sees that seam and just bursts through it. You're not going to pull him down with a hand tackle. They've got to get up in his face if they're going to stop him. Look at this good adjustment there by Greer. Good push by. That's Dan Hooper, 57, gets a good block. He knocks the middle linebacker out of spot.
Hazelwood's extra point is good. The Bulldogs have a little something to say as they take a 7-0 lead. We'll return after this message from CarQuest Auto Parts.
First day, my new boss throws me the keys.
Get it fixed, kid.
So I took it to Charlie. Guy's a real pro.
Let's get the parts.
Charlie says to be the best, you gotta use the best. All CarQuest parts are guaranteed, and there are more than 3,000 CarQuest stores with every part you can think of.
Relax. It's done. Did you get the car fixed, kid?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you get the parts?
CarQuest?
Welcome to the pros, kid.
I heard someone say, what will they think of next? And I thought, how wonderful it is to imagine that someone is out there thinking of things. And that's their job, to think of something that no one has ever thought of. And all we have to do is wait and wonder, what will they think of next?
The Chrysler Cirrus, Concord, and LHS, bringing what's next from the cab-forward engineering of Chrysler.
Everyone needs someone who will be there. Everyone needs someone on their side. Sometimes you know you need a friend. What's coming around the bend? Nationwide is on your side.
Better check the order.
Thank you. Come again.
Better check the order. You didn't check the order.
He didn't check the order.
At Sonic, we serve it the way you order it. Like our extra long cheese coney and crispy tater tots, right now at a special low price. So break away from the ordinary and drive into Sonic.
Sonic, driving for a change.
7-0 Mississippi State. We're still very early here in Baton Rouge at Tiger Stadium, and the scoring drive, very methodical, 52-yard drive, culminating with the Greer 3-yard touchdown run. Only 1:18 off the clock during that drive as Walker prepares to kick again to Falk and Mealy. Mealy at the top of your screen, Kevin Falk at the bottom. Going into the boundary, and it is Mealy doing a tightrope back. And Rondell Mealy is finally stopped at the 28-yard line. Bob Kessler.
A good start today for Jackie Sherrill after a long day yesterday. Tim talked about the fact he was at his father-in-law's funeral in Houston. Well, he tried to fly over to Baton Rouge yesterday. Because of the bad weather, the planes were canceled. So had to rent a car and drive all night to get here today. He didn't come with the team yesterday. Got in very early this morning. So he's good to see his Mississippi State team getting off to a good start today.
I've made that drive. It's not easy. LSU got a penalty in that opening drive that stymied them. Then after the punt and the exchange, quality field position to the Bulldogs, and the Tigers find themselves down 7 early. Quick hitch. Foster. He's got tremendous speed, this young man, and he's all the way to the 42 of Mississippi State. 30-yard pickup. Larry Foster, redshirt freshman from Harvey, Louisiana, stopped by Garner and Lacoste.
He's one of those freshmen. Watch this little hitch pattern out in the flat, and you have to respect his speed, so you give him closing distance. Look at that quick back step. That turf doesn't seem to be bothering him. He he picks up tremendous yards.
Derricks gambled and lost, went for the pick.
Yeah, sure did. You can't gamble on these guys, I'll tell you. But I think that was a wake-up call for LSU. That first drive, that's got to wake them up.
Robert Tyler is the fullback. It's Falk in the game, and he negotiates to the 36. Kevin Falk stopped by Kendall Robertson.
Boy, when you have two running backs like Falk and Mealy, man, you can do so many things inside. He just, watch this. He's going to start to the left. Now, come back to the right. Look, he sees a little tiny seam back there, gets behind Faneca, 66, finds that little tiny seam, picks up that positive yardage. They're just so shifty.
This is an offensive line that, at first glance, appears more comfortable blocking for the run than for the pass. Single setback is Falk, and there he is, inside the 30 to the 29. You know, it has to be comfortable, too, for guys like Bordelon and Faneca to know that they don't have to create much of a crease for Kevin Falk or Rondell Mealy.
That's the exact thing about the offensive line. What you do is you just lock up, and there, look at the results. You can see what Kevin Falk has done this year. Rushing, punt returns. He does everything. Kickoff returns, all-purpose yardage.
He's a real leader. Sophomore from Caring Pro, Kevin Falk. And the numbers impeccable. 6 per carry for him. On first down, why not? Falk stopped this time in his tracks by Michael Lindsay, the senior from Vicksburg, number 41. Though they've lost so many guys, so many injuries to this Mississippi State team on both sides of the line of scrimmage, Lindsay has stepped up and really helped out with the loss of the likes of Raymond G. and others.
This is what you've got to do. If you're going to stop a runner like that, you've got to stop him before he gets through the hole, before he slashes through there and gets into the secondary.
We asked Jerry DiNardo yesterday about the setup. You've got a week off, then the big game with Alabama. Drew a correlation to last year's game at South Carolina. He said, well, they had never been through it last year. They've been through it now. They have no excuses if they come out flat today. Screen to Mealy. Rondell Mealy inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Lacoste and Garner collaborate, the two linebackers.
Boy, this is a late developing screen. It's a great screen. If you want to run a screen, you got to hold those linemen in tight. You got to stay in, stay in, stay in. Sell it now. Pop out, pick up those blocks. They don't pick up a whole lot of yardage with it, but it really sold the screen.
Third down.
Jamal Pack is coming to the game, number 81, a redshirt freshman. LSU very good in the red zone this year. Double tight end look with Savoie in the slot. It's a good block from Savoie and is inside the 10. Izell McGill pushed him out.
And Tim, this is a play that's designed to go right over the middle. And the cornerback comes up and just doesn't make the tackle. Watch this. It's going right at the gut now. Just pop it back outside. You see the stiff arm there on Derricks. He just breaks the tackle there, picks up that yardage. But you love a young running back like Mealy, just a freshman, to pop it outside, use that speed.
Yeah, that's some strength, too, that stiff arm. I mean, he just he took care of Anthony Derricks with no problem. Mealy inside the 8 to about the 7-yard line. Rondell Mealy from Destrehan, Louisiana. The relationship, one might wonder, with two quality backs like a Mealy and like a Kevin Falk. Look at that, 4 touchdowns against New Mexico State, tying an LSU record. But they do have a quality relationship, both Mealy and Falk. They push one another very well. Terry Day, one of the beleaguered Bulldogs, being taken off the field, number 94, senior for Mississippi State. So the injury bug continues to crop up against Joe Lee Dunn's defense.
I think DiNardo's got to call timeout. The clock was down. The time clock was down to just a few seconds.
So with the play clock running down, DiNardo's team gets the quick timeout. They're trailing by 7, but LSU in the midst of a quality drive of their own. Back after these words from your local SEC station.
My best friend was voted homecoming queen. I was voted most likely to succeed. And because I won a full scholarship, I got to use the money I was saving up for college on a new Escort instead. My Ford dealer says it's the most car for the money.
Yeah, buying my escort was a smart move.
Don't forget to save me a dance, okay?
You bet.
Now get $750 cash back or get 3-9 financing plus $250 cash back on the all-new Ford Escort. Only at your local Ford dealer.
I'm Margie Lopp. In 1992, I sang a catchy jingle for Paul Coverdale. Some of you didn't like my song, but Paul Coverdale has been a great United States Senator. Now I'm here to ask you to vote for Guy Milner. I'm 77, and I need my Medicare and Social Security. Guy Milner will fight to save Medicare and protect Social Security. Max Cleland wants to cut it. I told you the truth in 92, and now I'm telling you the truth about Guy Milner. We can't have Max Cleland. He's just like Ted Kennedy.
We have some wonderful artists that we represent.
Purvis, he's a self-taught painter, an incredible artist.
Will you collect?
Little child's face, his passion.
No.
Yes.
When our gallery seemed to be growing, Alice called from Bell South and made suggestions for us.
Usually you get lost in the shuffle in a customer service relationship, but that doesn't happen with us. Our job is artwork, and you let the specialist specialize.
It's back. SE5. Customized with air, bedliner, cassette stereo, sliding rear window, alloy wheels, and chrome bumpers. Mazda SE5.
Let me go for a ride.
Just $11,995. Or lease for $189 a month, $1,000 down.
Just let me go for a ride.
Mazda.
Got a passion for the road.
The legendary SE5.
7-0, Mississippi State leading, but LSU in the midst of a drive that began at their own 28-yard line. This will be the 8th play, and they've been almost exclusively run today.
Yeah, they haven't gone to LaFleur yet.
Falk will pass it. Foster, touchdown, LSU.
Little play, toss it out here and throw the pass. Kevin Falk looking for his teammate there. Finds him in the back of the end zone. It's a little change-up. Everybody thinks that Falk is a running back. Now he's a passer.
Well, he's touched on his all-purpose yards. Well, now it's an all-purpose arm. Yeah. As he gets the football into Larry Foster's hands, his 3rd touchdown of the year. And suddenly it's a tie game at 7.
Well, I think it was a wake-up call for LSU. Interesting. Everybody thinks when Falk gets the football, it's going to be run every time. This is a toss. You're looking at the backside where the secondary looks. They're coming up thinking run also, and you see the pass. Not a pretty pass. Lame duck there, but it makes it to Foster. Foster just does a quick out right here. Plant. Now get back outside. Anything close. Look, he's saying I'm wide open. Just throw it close.
They utilized that time LaFleur as a blocker that could help spring Foster for the touchdown catch. You know, we talked to Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator, about Falk as you look at the 72-yard drive culminating with the Foster catch. He said Kevin Falk is one of the most knowledgeable football minds he's ever worked with in all of his years coaching offensive football.
And it's really amazing because he said that he helps a lot of the other players. He's just a sophomore. He's not supposed to do that. But he'll oftentimes talk to Mealy, of course, some of the other guys, and just kind of give them instructions.
Boyd, Danny Boyd, the freshman from Bradenton, kicks off. It's Isaac, 3 yards deep. He'll bring it out. Uh-oh, look out. He found the seam. And he's into LSU territory at the 40-yard line. And Mississippi State steals some Tiger thunder in the afternoon.
Boy, do you ever. You don't often run the ball back when you're 3-4 yards deep in the end zone. It's kind of like, it's almost like the coverage team kind of let up a little bit, saw the kick was going to be deep. Look how far back in the end zone he is. But he never breaks stride. See, he sees the seam right there, plants, sinks right through it. Now it's just a race to the sideline and down the sideline here.
Boyd did all he could to help stop him. Finally, it's Chris Cummings, number 19, that ushered him out. Robert Isaac's presence has been felt so far today. On first down. Good play fake by Tate. Dumps it out to Nakia Greer. And the fullback lumbers down to near the 20-yard line of LSU. Mark Roman, the free safety, made the tackle after a 20-yard pickup.
And one thing Jerry DiNardo knows is that if Derek Tate gets hot, you remember him a couple years ago, how good he was. Great play fake right there. Sold the fake, now comes out. They're running misdirection plays, pulling the fullback back out of the backfield against the grain. If Derek Tate gets hot, watch out.
He's 2 out of 2 for 29 yards so far, is Tate. Senior from Moss Point, Mississippi, has been roundly booed at home games. In fact, one of the reasons he's starting today is the fact that this is a road game. Crossing pattern incomplete. Pass was thrown behind Lahidi Grant, the sophomore from Dora, Alabama. Mississippi State, coming into today's game, had scored only 10 points in the first quarter. Now they've almost equaled that and may be going for at least the push or to surpass that in one quarter of play here in Baton Rouge today. So it's been a problem for them.
Well, look at the third quarter. Third quarter, they only have 6 points. So the first and third quarters have been nightmares for them, but they look like they're going to change it in this first quarter.
2nd and 10 out of the shotgun. Lets it fly, post corner route, incomplete. Intended for Matthew Butler, number 23.
I saw a flag come down on the line. I wondered if LSU lined up in the zone because they had 10 men up on the line of scrimmage.
Pat Rogers put the heat on Tate.
Now, it could be one of two things. You can probably, most likely it'll be the illegal motion or set up on the line, one of the offensive linemen. Let's listen.
Illegal formation against the offense. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Penalties declined. 3rd down.
And when I saw that flag come out, I thought it's only one of two things: illegal formation or that lining up in the neutral zone.
Jeremy Jones lines up at the bottom of your screen, man-to-man with Denard Walker. 4 wide receiver set for Mississippi State. Tate over the middle and caught. Touchdown, Bulldogs, and it's Matthew Butler. His first touchdown, and he's a Baton Rouge native.
Butler coming into this game is 3 deep on the depth chart. They want to get the football to him. He's another one of those freshmen, and he is wide open. Watch on the left of your screen. You're going to see him curl in here. Look, nobody around him. Safety can't play that deep. That's Mark Roman. He's got to come up closer. Look at Derek Tate.
How about the homecoming for Butler? Just a freshman out of Baton Rouge, gets his first touchdown catch. What better place for him than Tiger Stadium? Derek Tate, seasoned veteran, finds a homeboy, a Baton Rouge-born boy, for a touchdown.
Life. It's not the sort of thing that shuts down at 5. So at Bell South, we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you ever need to reach us, just give us a call. Anytime. Bell South, it's all here.
We're not out of gas. Oh, man. Hola. 67 pesos. $9. Oh, boy. Got my card right here. Ahorita no. No dinero. No gas. But that's all I have. Maybe there's something.
All across the heartland, in big cities and small towns, and all the miles in between, we're there. In the best of times and the worst of times, a helping hand along your way. A company dedicated to helping you get the most out of your car, as well as your life. For all the miles to come, Phillips 66, the performance company. Mazda. The 97 Protege LX5. No other
car turns more heads for just $13,990. Special equipped with air, cassette, cruise, and power everything. Or lease for $209 a month, $1,000 down. Mazda.
14-7, Mississippi State with the lead. A very active first quarter. The Bulldogs have more points in this quarter than they've had all season long. Matthew Butler, freshman, played his high school football here in Baton Rouge at Terra High School.
Hey, we came by there on the way to the game
That's
today.
right, we sure did. And you see Terry Day going back to the locker room. This has been an all too familiar scene for the Bulldog trainers.
Well, anytime you've got an ankle, and that's what Terry Day does, he has a bad ankle. When you have it, it just seems like it nags on you all year long. You just can't take a long enough time to get it well.
Kevin Falk back deep, along with Rondell Mealy, as Jeff Walker prepares to kick off. High. And look at that. What a bad break for LSU. And there you see the elements coming into play as Rondell Mealy, the quickness, the cuts, the slashing type of runners, the ones with tremendous acceleration are the ones that are most effective.
Yeah, interesting. I thought that there would be more trouble in between the hash marks where the field is a little bit more chewed up. This is outside the hash. Watch this, just plants that back foot, and down he goes. Boy, you couldn't have a better defensive play if you're Mississippi State.
So the Tigers now will open up shop at their own 2-yard line. And that was just one of those anticipation. You know, the ball's in the air. I can't wait to get started. And he pushes off and hits the turf. I formation behind Tyler. Savoy in motion. Ball. He's to the 5-yard line. You know, we talk about the slashing style of Mealy and Falk. One of the most impressive aspects of him is the ability not only to cut and have the speed to come off the corner, but he's a great plugger.
Yes, he is.
He can get inside the tackles with no problem. Let's go down to Bob Kessler.
Tim, Day has been bothered, of course, by the ankle problem. This is his knee right now. It's his other knee. His right knee is the one that's hurt. And so Terry Day has gone to the locker room. They don't think he's going to be able to return to the game today.
2nd and 6, Falk on the pitch. Kevin Falk. Boy, if Tim Nelson doesn't make the shoestring tackle, we may be looking at about a 92-yard jaunt.
Well, you know what's amazing about Falk and Mealy, both of them, they're not big, but boy, they are tough. They don't only run outside, they run inside. Look at break this tackle there. Now, as you said, right there, if he breaks that tackle, you don't see anybody up in front of him. The only person out there would be Joe Lee Dunn waving at him.
Well, they're trying to stuff the run. They're going with 6 down and 5 in the perimeter, but they're all playing run support. And once you break that initial line, you got nothing but daylight in front of you. Mealy. Stop near the 20-yard line. Michael Lindsay making the stop.
Boy, and Tim, you can hear the big-time hitting down there. Both these teams know the importance of this football game, and they are flat out flying to the football.
Well, something that I think fans need to remember, you're talking about a Mississippi State team that's proud and loves to play a physical style. And they've had a week off after that distasteful loss to Auburn that we witnessed. And this is a team that's going to come out. If they can make you play a physical game, it plays right into their hands.
Well, what happens, too, is when you lose a player like Dwayne Curry, a lot of players will almost think, I've got to be the one to step up, increase my level of play.
2nd and 7. Mealy to about the 23-yard line. LSU, of course, absorbed that bitter loss at Florida. Jerry DiNardo had some interesting conversation about that. He said, you know, hey, guys, we worked hard in a year and a half to get to number 11 to play a number 1. Now that we know where we really are, we have a chance to get better. And if we do, we may have another chance against a number 1 in a rematch. Yep. We've got to be up to the challenge. There's Dwayne Curry.
Yeah, there's a number 1. Boy, it's a heck of a football. It's tough on him. You know it's tough. You're taken out of this football game, not be allowed to play.
Mealy and Cleveland in the backfield. That pass, the first one intended for the tight end LaFleur. Incomplete. Kendall Robertson was right there.
Well, that's something you don't see often. You always see LaFleur come down with that football, but Robertson really gets in there. Again, blitz action coming on him. Get that pressure on him fast. Watch LaFleur. Get that hand in there. Good play by Robertson to rip that football down.
Not easily done against a strong David LaFleur. Kessler to punt it away. Isaac standing at his own 30. Isaac will have plenty of room from his 25. Runs right into his own blocker who was trying to make the play, Anthony Derricks. And Derricks really is the guy that's responsible for putting Isaac on the ground. He was trying to block number 48, Kevin Sluter. And you can see he's a little pumped up, number 48 in white. And we have an injured Mississippi State Bulldog. Yet another for Jackie Sherrill to have to endure. Baron Simpson, number 64, freshman out of Starkville. So they'll tend to him. Around the Southeastern Conference is presented by Morgan Keegan, the South's premier investment firm. Interesting games today, and of course the big one, Alabama at Tennessee in Knoxville. They're meeting this time on the 4th Saturday of October rather than the 3rd. It is, after all, the 90s. Got a few changes in college football these days. Number 1 passing offense against passing defense.
Boy, who do you think wins in that one?
You know, I will tell you this. Tennessee has one last statement game to play. This one is it.
Yes.
And I'm sure Philip Fulmer not only wants to win the game, but if given the opportunity to blow out Alabama, Tennessee will throw out everything and go after them. Because if, in fact, Peyton Manning is in his last season, which is a rumor, that's the last statement game he can make.
Certainly is. That's a huge game.
Simpson being carted off. And the Bulldog offense comes out at the 35.
And now these fans start calling for their defense. Stand up, step up defense.
Tate running an option. That's Buckholder. Stopped at the 38-yard line. Bob Kessling has more. Bob?
Tim, we've had about 7 inches of rain here in the last couple of days. You can see how muddy it is just off the side of the field. They've done a great job of getting the water just off the field, but as you can see on the side here, it's still very, very muddy, and on the sides of the field, it still is very, very slippery. Basically, Baton Rouge is at sea level, so there's really no place for this water to go, especially when they get a lot in a short period of time.
Yeah, 94% humidity factor today as well. There's the blitz. Woodbury can't come up with it. Incomplete. The fans love that. Denard Walker coming absolutely scot-free on the blitz to really level Tate.
Boy, and when Tate looks around, he sees him right there, and you see how quickly he gets rid of the football. He throws it on the mark. That ball was well thrown under that much pressure. Again, watch this hit. Boom, at the tail end. So watch this right here. You see Tate, he stands up now, looks back, sees the pressure, gets rid of the football. He throws a strike to Woodbury.
Roman really leveled him, too. Crowd trying to become a factor on 3rd and 7. 4 wides again for Mississippi State. Tate tries to tuck it. Has the first down and more to midfield. And, you know, he almost ran into his own offensive lineman. I think it was Ainsworth, 59, who almost horse-collared him at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and watch the football. Watch the football. I thought he was going to drop. The football goes all over. Right here, he gets bumped. Look at the football out there. He's almost using the football as a balancing tool.
He ran into Ainsworth, but Big Brad quickly got out of the way, and it's a 12-yard gain and a first down for a very wet Derek Tate. He may be wet, but he's also hot. That pass is incomplete. Woodbury slipped as he was trying to make his cut. Pat Rogers, 82, senior from Fair Park High School in Shreveport, Louisiana, there to provide the coverage.
Boy, and all the fans that wanted to see Derek Tate return to his old form. You remember 2 years ago, he was unstoppable. He was all over the place. Last year suffered through that year, and this year it's just had an up-and-down year. He's a wonderful kid. Jackie Sherrill will tell you he's just a great kid. He wants him to have a good day, and he is having a good. Look at that face mask.
That's a nose tackle's mask, isn't it?
Looks like a defensive lineman to me.
2nd and 10. Tate finds McCaskey. That's Terrence McCaskey, 86, redshirt freshman tight end from North Cross, Georgia. He and John Jennings and Reginald Kelly all get some playing time there.
This is just a drive off the ball. Just square up, turn, and get that big target. But he needs to come up with a big one here. Third down, about 6 yards to go.
4 wides again for Mississippi State. Jeremy Jones up at the top of your screen. He's a speedster, and it looks like he's matched up man-to-man. Here comes some pressure. Pass into the air, and it is Jones. He fumbles the football into midair. Wiley comes down with it. Big Chuck Wiley down at the 41-yard line.
Slippery pigskin, would you call it? Unbelievable play by Tate to get rid of the football. Watch this. He tries to step up. A lot of pressure in the middle. They horse collar him here in the middle. You'll see him get up right here. Now he just flips it up in the air. Look, he's going down. He never sees the tail end of it. Look at the little pick there. Now watch. He's wide open. Now watch how high the football is now. He never gets it away. He gets hit from the backside. Look at Wiley. Just runs in there. There's the football. Now the big man takes off.
Rayon Hill made the hit to spring the ball into the air for Wiley, and Wiley is now a semifinalist for a Lombardi Award.
Well, we saw him going down the elevator. He said, be sure to mention me. You do things like that, Chuck Wiley, you get mentioned.
Greg Hill is down on the ground. The sophomore strong safety, number 25 from Mansfield. Been a big-time hitter for this team, and we saw a lot of licks passed in that one sequence right there.
That sure was. That was a real turnover. You talk about a slippery ball. Like you can see the wetness of the ball. Of course, when he gets hit from the backside, that ball just kind of pops out from the backside. But what a play by Wiley. He's a defensive lineman. He's playing the ball. When the ball is thrown, you want your defensive lineman to turn and run to the football. It's called an angle of pursuit. And Wiley just roared back there, and just what a turnover for him.
Well, we've seen Terry Day leave the game, Barron Simpson leave, now Greg Hill, and you know, the wet field, a factor where injuries are concerned as well. This is an LSU team that's been relatively injury-free for the bulk of this season. Next Saturday, our Bell South SEC game of the week, we travel to Columbia, South Carolina, and Tennessee. The number 6 Vols still in the chase for an Alliance Bowl game. Important game for them next week. And look at the turnover margin, the giveaways versus takeaways. Usually teams with losing records see that kind of statistical data.
Yeah, the difference, and you know Jackie Sherrill knows that. That's something he does not like. You cannot give the ball away more times than you get it back.
Falk. Devin Falk. You have to wrap him up, even if it's slippery when it's wet. Kendall Robertson makes the tackle at 8-yard gain.
Boy, and that's 2 plays that we've seen Falk just one little swipe away from going all the way. Just got to love the running style of him. You know, he's not a big guy. He and Mealy are both, well, they're similar size at 5'10" to 6 foot, about 200 pounds before they run with authority.
Chris Beard is in the game at wide receiver, already fought 45 yards. Mealy. Rondo Mealy inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Garner again is involved in the tackle, number 54. That was Falk rather than Mealy. So Kevin obviously going to get his carries as this day continues, but you know, that's one of the real positives about both Falk and Mealy. They have similar styles. You lose nothing when one of the players is out of the game.
Well, it's got to be especially somebody like Jerry DiNardo who loves to run.
On the Mississippi State side.
Sideline warning against Mississippi State, asking the players to move back, and I think LSU also paying heed to Al Ford's request.
So that white zone that you see there, no players can get in that. Only coaches go up in that zone.
Tyler in the slot, the fullback. Inside the 20 to the 19. Paul Lacoste runs him down. That's another 9-yard chunk.
Boy, and what you like about Falk, what I like about him, and what I know coaches just really enjoy about running backs, is he runs under control, and when he sees that little seam, it's almost like he explodes. See right there, now he sees it. Now, watch right here. Going to cut back. Now, try to explode again. You see that leg action start to pick up those feet? That explosiveness will break through tackles many, many times. He's getting a little winded.
Savoie checks back into the game for LSU. He hooks up with David LaFleur as they load up to the right-hand side. Falk on 2nd and 1 has the first down to the 15. Isel McGill, number 8, junior from Rex, Georgia, making the tackle. Terry Day has made it back from the locker room and is back on the sidelines. You heard Bob Kessling touching on the knee problem to go along with an ankle problem that he already had. And there are the pounded dogs. Look at that. G missed 5 games. Greer, he's gone. Will not play for the remainder of the year. Terry Day, Eric Brown, who's trying to play, but he's got that torn muscle in the groin area. It's been very painful for him. And Curry out as well today. Inside the 5-yard line. I mean, do you lose a step at all when 7's running rather than 3?
You could have them both wearing the exact same number, and it's hard to tell them apart. But what you want out of a running back is vision. Look at this. Run into the hole. Skip outside. Keep your focus downfield. Look for the seam. Cut back underneath and be fearless. He's got everything that it takes for a running back.
Well, that interception for Wiley is now, you see, LaFleur, who was injured last year, checks out of the game. Could be a 14-point swing if LSU catches in here. Healy, touchdown! Robert Tyler, the big fullback, makes a nice play here.
Oh, he does. He's the lead back. Look at him right there. He locks onto the corner. Corner doesn't even get a chance. He just kind of swallows the corner as he comes out there.
That young man is a freshman from Cleveland, Mississippi.
Oh, we got a track meet.
Welcome to South Louisiana, where you can have a track meet in the mud.
Boy, I'll tell you one thing. I don't think when we woke up this morning and saw all this rain, we never thought we'd see a game like this, but this is a track meet. Watch Tyler get up in there. That's a good block there. Just blow him off the line, lock up in there. Those breaks right on through.
Yeah, they haven't had what you'd call a true fullback here in quite some time. Rondell Mealy, his 7th touchdown, so now he has the same number of touchdowns as the jersey number. But Robert Tyler, just a freshman, really, when you think of it, Hokie Gajan might be the last real fullback that they had at LSU. Both Tyler and LaFleur seem to have some stingers, as they tend to them on the sideline.
That's the medic ward right there. That's the hospital zone. Look at the number of trainers and doctors around them.
These type of games in these conditions, though, will bring about those, won't they?
Yeah, now look at Tyler. He's trying to get his shoulder pads off. You think it's up underneath his shoulder. Now with LaFleur, you see him pulling his left arm there.
We're told that Greg Hill has a sprained shoulder. They're getting the pads off of him.
Well, you're going to earn your money here in a minute. They're going to be about 3 or 4 deep in the chart.
Boyd's kick is a little far back for even Isaac to consider bringing out. He had a 60-yard return to set up Mississippi State's last touchdown. So they're playing with some pain today in Baton Rouge. Mississippi State will have it at their own 20. Well, we may think back to that Wiley pick. That Wiley pick, because Mississippi State is in a position to maybe get a 14 or at least a 10-point lead.
Oh, yeah.
And now LSU jams it right back down their throat to tie the game. That's at least a 10, maybe a 14-point swing.
Exactly, and it's momentum swing, too. You just turned the football over, and Wiley, he's had the big play of this first half. He wanted to get mentioned. He's getting mentioned.
Derek Tate sees a defense that he doesn't like, quickly gets a timeout. And he's letting his offensive line know he's upset. I think he's a little more upset with his offense than he was concerned with LSU's defense.
Now, that's an interesting thing. Did you see him turn and point his finger down at those linemen? You stay right here, I'll be right back. That's a quarterback that's taking control. That's what you want. You want leadership out of your quarterback.
This is a tremendous facility with a lot of tradition, but you have to keep up with the times. In the SEC in particular, part of a $4.3 million renovation in Tiger Stadium is a new locker room for the football players. They also have a new weight room for men and women coming in. And look at that. Falk and Tyler set up shop, and now a very good wooden veneer. I think there's a lot of lacquer on that wood, too, wouldn't you say?
Hey, there's some of our fans.
See, you can enjoy the game in the sunlight as well as the moonlight.
How you doing down there?
They have some more renovations that are planned here at Tiger Stadium. That weight room that we mentioned is ongoing. But this place rocks. It's unlike any other. Very unique. First and 10, Mississippi State at their 20. Cameron Floyd in motion, number 16. Isaac. Maybe a yard at that. Boy, Stansberry is a true leader, number 43. He's involved in that stop. We played one very entertaining quarter in Baton Rouge at Tiger Stadium. We're tied, Dogs and Tigers.
I was looking for an onion, a really big onion. A blooming onion as big as your head. One bite of that onion and bam, you were hooked. I mean, you want to have more and more, and you think about it, you dream about them, you just got to have them. And you can't stop, and you go anywhere, and those spices, oh yeah, I'm telling you, I was consumed by that onion. And that onion was consumed by me.
It's easy to get a bloomin' onion. Get to Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
How's about a nice juicy steak to go with that bloomin' onion?
Steak? Hey, why didn't I think of that? I love steak. Big, juicy.
1874, the first transatlantic cable connecting Ireland and America. It was made by Siemens. That was then. This is now. Today, phone companies and businesses use Siemens switches to send and receive voices, images, and data together for desktop video conferencing, wireless communications, and high-speed internet access. Siemens technologies keep you in touch and on top. Siemens, precision thinking.
Just because something hasn't been done before, does that mean it can't be done?
The Chrysler Concord LXI. Now receive $500 cash back. The Chrysler Concord, built on the belief that anything can be done.
It's not sleepy time down south anymore. Today, the region's economy is expanding, and investment opportunities are springing up right in our own backyard. Morgan Keegan, the South's leading investment firm, carefully tracks these opportunities, finding regional stocks and bonds that are tomorrow's blue chips. And Morgan Keegan brokers know if you want to attract a crowd, you have to pay attention to details. That's why smart Southerners come to Morgan Keegan for financial advice. Morgan Keegan, capital for the South.
Tim, you talk about defensive line play. Watch Chuck Wiley on this play. Goes into Henry McCann, sets him up, slides, back runs into him, slide, stay square, get on the tackle. You can't play it any better than that as a defensive lineman.
We've seen Derek Tate upset with his offensive line, and that may be one of the reasons. We open the second quarter with a 2nd and 9 for Mississippi State. We're tied 14-14. Play fake by Tate. Over the middle, again, the pass a bit behind the receiver, Matthew Butler, who has a touchdown catch today. Our Mazda first quarter stats. Well, the total yards are there for both teams. The passing yards, though, for Mississippi State, perhaps surprising to some.
Yeah, I think it is a little surprising. I think it's surprising that both teams have got that kind of yardage. And you see people starting to scamper around in the stadium a little bit, maybe starting to rain.
Jackie Sherrill probably doesn't mind seeing that. Slow down, Mealy and Falk. A little more for me, will you? That's what he's thinking. 3rd and 9. Tate throwing off his back foot. That was a very dangerous pass. Again, Wiley putting on a lot of heat. Pass intended for Matthew Butler.
Well, that's what you've got to get. You've got to get that pressure on a quarterback. Watch the right of your screen from the top. You're going to see the pressure. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Get in his face. Let him know. Don't let him step up. And you see Wiley takes him down. Man, he must have believed me when I said I'd mention him if he did something good.
Ran into Chuck in the elevator in the athletic building here yesterday after our meetings with the coaches. 4th and 9. Andy Russ, best in the league, one of the best in the country. Left-footed punter. Fair catch called for and taken by Kevin Falk at the 38-yard line. 40-yard punt. Andy Russ is truly outstanding. Senior from Nashville, Tennessee.
Umbrellas are not permitted in Tiger Stadium.
Jackie Sherrill could not have asked for a better scenario today, but look at that. The time of possession all against him, and I think that goes back to that drive that could have been, that wasn't because of the pick by Wiley.
Well, you can see the time of possession is usually a factor, but if I was Jackie Sherrill, I'd say, hey, it's 14-14. You can have the time of possession. Now it looks like maybe it's starting to rain a little bit more.
Yeah, they're breaking out the ponchos.
I heard the announcer say there are no umbrellas allowed in the stadium. Right.
1st and 10. Little sprint out by Tyler. Looking long for Foster, and it's overthrown. McGill and Tim Nelson, 17 and 8 in the maroon. We're back to provide coverage for Mississippi State. It was a little shower now. It's turning into one of those frog stranglers right now. It's really interesting, too. You look up and you see some blue skies to the northwest, but anytime the wind in Baton Rouge is coming out of the southeast, that means there's more rain on the way.
That's the first thing they said, but the wind's still blowing out of the southeast, so be careful. Bob Kessler's going to have fun down there on the sideline, isn't he?
LaFleur is back in the game at tight end, so apparently he's okay. Tyler lets it fly. Look at Garner right on top of the screen pass in Falk's face. As Kevin Falk goes down, a loss on the play. Garner involved in 7 tackles today.
7 tackles already. He is certainly picking it up for Dwayne Curry. He's the replacement, number 50, 54. He's going to play this screen. It's his man all the way. You want to pressure the screen, get it off as quick as possible, and watch him come in there. Ernest Garner, 54. Play the back. That's a big-time play. No wonder he's been in on 7 tackles. He's picked it up a little bit.
Kevin Schluter, 48 there, provided that pressure to help Garner make the tackle of Falk. 3rd down, 15. That one's batted down. Gregory Favors, who had quality penetration, working against Sean Wells, the left tackle.
Yeah, that was going to be a dump out here into the flat, and Favors just gets good penetration up in the quarterback's face, jumps just at the right time, knocks the football down. But now, boy, the rain will change this, because you have about 7 or 8, maybe 10 balls that you play with. And all of a sudden, once you make the rotation through the balls, they all get wet.
Kessler to punt it away. Isaac standing at his 25. They'll let it roll inside the 20. Good punt by Kessler. 48 yards going up against Russ, who's one of the best in the country. True challenge for Kessler today. We got a little rain on the bayou. We got a tie on the bayou, too.
Oh, everyone needs someone who will be there. Everyone needs someone on their side. Sometimes you know you need a friend. What's coming around the bend? Nationwide is on your side.
We keep it moving, moving, moving. We keep it moving, moving, moving.
At BP, we know the best part of life is not spent at a gas station. That's why everything we do, from our world-class fuels to BP credit cards, from pay at the pump to BP shops, we do to keep you moving.
We keep it moving, moving, moving. We keep it moving, moving. We keep it moving, moving. We keep it moving.
Guess which burger chain just received a #1 overall rating in a recent national survey? Nope. Sorry. Who received a #1 ranking? Sonic. First in service and a #1 rating in overall satisfaction. At Sonic, your order is delivered fast and in person. And Sonic makes everything fresh to order. So break away from the ordinary and drive into America's choice.
Sonic, driving for a change.
Roger that. Around here, everyone's either family or friend of the family. So when we get a call, it's personal. Your equipment's got to be tough and dependable. So I drive a Ford F-150. More power, more room. And the third door makes it easier to get to my gear.
Hey, Mac.
Boy, this is going to be tough.
See for yourself why the all-new 97 Ford F-150 is the best-selling truck in America. Only at your local Ford dealer.
We are tied at 14 with the rain coming down in Tiger Stadium. This is a time in the game, Dave, where with the rain coming, you feel like turnovers might be coming with it.
Oh, and the rain is flat out coming down. Let me tell you, fans, we're in the drive, but boy, turnovers, that's what you have to think now. How many times will each team turn over the football?
Straight handoff. That's Buckhalter. Boy, he bounces outside well. That's a first down. He's to the 29-yard line. 10 yards for Tony Buckhalter, junior from Daleville, Alabama. This is the worst field position that Mississippi State has had to open a drive.
This is a good bounce, as you said. Get outside, use that speed, break tackles. You see everybody slipping off now. Now, what they'll do on the sideline, Jackie Sherrill and his coaches will tell them, just as LSU will, wrap them up. Hold on. Don't try to make the big, fantastic tackle. Just make sure you get your hands around them and hold on.
First and 10, Mississippi State, just shy of the 30. Buckhalter burrows to about the 31, maybe the 32-yard line. I believe we have a very wet mutter of our own down on the sidelines. Bob?
That's exactly right. Said what they were concerned about if it rained again. It stopped raining at about 9 this morning, and the field actually did dry out some. But it's very saturated, especially in the middle of the field. It could get muddy very quickly.
I'll say 11 inches in the last 18 hours absorbed here in South Louisiana. That's one of those little southeast Gulf fronts making its way up.
But you know what's interesting? Once the players get wet and they get that mud and it rubs all over them, they almost forget about it. It's a lot quieter out there when you play.
Are you saying the 55s and the 43s in white like that?
Oh, yeah, you love it. I always liked it because it made all the fast running backs slow, like me.
Second down and 8. To Buckhalter. Boy, Stansberry really did a great job of spreading that play out. Hard to go east and west when you've got Stansberry, the senior from Baton Rouge, a Butkus candidate. They're sliding along the line of scrimmage.
Boy, this is a perfect play by Stansberry, number 43. You talk about he's on the top of the screen. Now watch. Play to the outside. He's got outside contain. Play across the face, run him into the sideline, take him out of bounds. You can't play anything and wipe out about half the team.
Got a little help from Denard Walker, 24. Alan Stansberry, one of the real leaders for this LSU defense that's playing minus Gabe Northern and James Gilliard this year, the two anchors at defensive end last season. Third down, 6, 4 wideouts for Derek Tate. Shotgun. Tate, that pass is nearly finished. Woodbury got a hand on it. Pass again thrown just a bit behind him. And Mark Roman, the free safety, who was there to provide coverage.
Well, you've got to get pressure on the quarterback. This is a sprint where he runs out of the pocket. Now watch Wiley. Get out there, get into space, make sure he can't turn back. Wiley's been running today. Tate really escaped that time because he laid up a floater that could have been intercepted.
Andy Russ will punt it away, standing at his own 20. Low, sort of a knuckleball, but it does get a Mississippi State roll inside the LSU 30, downed at the 27 by Jeremy Jones. 40-yard punt again for Russ. We are tied with 11:34 to play. Our Bell South SEC Game of the Week coming your way next week. Oh, it should be a good one. Two outstanding offenses. South Carolina, the Deuce, number 22, Staley, working for the Gamecocks, and Peyton Manning, the arm of Tennessee in the SEC, will be on display. We look forward to bringing it to you from Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia. First and 10, LSU. Falk. They gave him a little juke. Boy, did you see that? That's so special. He's run out of bounds at the 36. Even in these conditions, Kevin Falk can give a little shoulder juke and sit a few guys down.
Yeah, we talked about explosion, and that's what he does on the play. He's running out there. There's nothing out there. On that play, watch him. He's going to take this little toss. Now, watch him go outside here, inside. Now, right there. He sees a little seam outside. Now, turn it on. Get that extra gear. Oh, and a good slide. Safe.
You know, Lacoste, he had visions of grandeur, and then Falk gave him a shoulder fake, and down he went. Second down and a yard to go for LSU. Mealy back in the game. Mealy with a first down.
Barney says, Kevin Falk, you gained 9 yards. Guess what I'm going to do? Gain 9 himself.
Anything you can do, I can do as well.
Well, this is just good vision. You can't teach this. Right there, good vision. See that little seam? It's got those linemen. They're lining up, and they're just really getting great blocks in there.
Look at that. In 96, I think the most noteworthy aspect of that, the rush yards per carry. 7.2 for Mealy, just over 6 for Kevin Falk.
Well, you wonder, why do they ever pass it? If he can run 6 and 7 yards a carry, you don't have to pass it.
Falk again trying to bounce outside. Stiff arms Derricks, finally run out. Got some help from Izell McGill. Crowd a little angry, but he was in the field of play.
Sure he was. As long as he's on that green grass, you can hit him. I don't care if you're an inch in bounds.
It's going to look a bit more devastating when they begin to slide outside the sidelines.
Well, this is good play by Mississippi State. Slide to the outside, keep him there. You see the stiff arm there. Up comes the corner to force it. Bang. That was a good play.
And a good no call. Second down and 7. And that's the tandem at work today. Better than 100 yards already in unison as the rain slowly winds to a stop for the moment.
Second down, 6.
Second and 7. Tyler, a little curl pattern that is caught at the 40-yard line. Adesele Badan was there covering Larry Foster, who has a touchdown catch today. It's a first down for LSU.
Boy, it's interesting to watch the evolution of Herb Tyler. He's a quarterback. They don't want to put a lot on him. They want to bring him into the game plan, and asking the coordinators, we said, how much of the game plan have you given to him? He says about 70, 75%, but we're bringing him along and he's responding well to what we're giving him.
It'll be interesting to see if they work on Badan a bit more. He's a youngster, sophomore, moving from one corner to the other today. Little reverse coming back the other way to Foster. Lacoste stays home, but I think he may have gotten the mask.
You know, I wonder, the way you got tackled there, boy, when he went down, he got ripped going down. Look, I thought he had maybe a shoulder pad, but his leg looked like it bent up underneath him when he went down.
That's going to be one of those 5-yard variety face mask penalties as Foster limps to the bench.
Well, watch Foster on the tail end of this. I thought the hand was in the shoulder pad, but it might have been in the face mask.
Personal foul, 15-yard face mask at the end of the run. First down.
Well, I don't know about the 15, though. Well, it didn't appear to me that he really tried for the face mask.
Watch to see if he pulls the face mask to make the tackle, though. That's the call. Right there. There's the face mask. Yeah, you're right. The tackle.
Well, from that angle, he didn't let go, and that's why he got the 15.
Right. You see him hold his ankle. Foster grabs that ankle.
At the 18-yard line.
You see Foster, 3 receptions, 47 yards for a 15.7 average. He's been heard from today in the passing game with Herb Tyler. Savoie in motion. Falk. Kevin Falk. Touchdown.
Good block that time by Adam Perry, number 76. Look right there, Perry. Perry knocks him out of there. Then Tyler gets a great block in there. And downfield, there's Beard. He gets a good block. He gets a block on McGill. 3 great blocks on that. Hey, anytime a guard gets a block like that, like Perry did, boy, that's showcase.
And you love to see wide receivers make those kinds of blocks. And if you're going to have a quality running game, wideouts will need to do it. A little too much Kevin Falk for Mississippi State. 21-14, a local word coming up.
It's back.
It takes a light
SE5.
Gotta go for a ride.
Customized with air, bedliner, cassette stereo, sliding rear window, alloy wheels, and chrome bumpers.
Yeah, sakes alive.
Mazda SE5.
Let me go for a ride.
Just $11,995. Or lease for $189 a month, $1,000 down.
Just let me go for a ride.
Mazda.
Got a passion for the road.
The legendary SE5.
You now have only till Election Day to decide. I'm talking about AirTouch Cellular's Airtime Decision 96. Do you choose the anytime offer with 2 hours of airtime every month for just $25 a month? Or the free time offer with 10 hours of airtime every month for only $29.95. Both with free activation. But hurry, because after Election Day, all this is history. For details, call 1-800-AirTouch or a participating agent.
All we can eat.
Big appetite? Applebee's is serving all-you-can-eat riblets. Hickory smoked, slow-cooked, and smothered in our tangy sauce. We'll serve them till you tell us to stop.
America's favorite neighbor.
A riblet event of prehistoric portions.
Applebee's.
Power pricing means we'll beat any advertised price.
Happy New Year sale. Happy new Dodge 497 at Landmark's Power Payments. 97 Stratus Sedan or Neon Coupe. Your choice, $169 a month. 97 Caravan, Ram 1500, regular or club cab. Your choice, $197 a month.
The Landmark Power Payment makes it happen.
Landmark Dodge in Jonesboro. Landmark Dodge Chrysler Jeep in Monroe.
Landmark, always the best deal, always.
Play here in the second, LSU with a 21-14 lead. That's keeping your head in the game. Danny Boyd's kick bounces over the head. Well, that'll keep Robert Isaac from returning the ball if you can hit one of those. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the Bulldogs. A 6-play, 73-yard drive. Kevin Falk, an 18-yard run, his 8th touchdown of the season. And the Tigers find themselves with a lead at long last after Mississippi State got off to a good start. I think right now, though, you can still point to the drive that Derek Tate had because he was still hot at that point. Pass apparently caught in the air, but then off a tremendous hit to pop the ball loose. Chuck Wiley went the other way with an interception return. That was a 14-point swing in this game. Sure was. Tate off the sprint out. And Woodbury dropped it. That's the first real drop that we've seen today, but good pressure again from Stansbury.
Yeah, they put pressure from the outside corner, Stansbury, and he just comes hard on him. Watch this. When Tate fakes right here, watch Stansbury. He's going to level him. But Tate threw that ball right on the money. The ball was delivered right there. Woodbury just didn't look it in.
Tate's misses today have been thrown behind receivers, usually over the middle of the field. He's been very accurate with the out patterns. 2nd and 10. He's missed his last 5 passes. Isaac, no room. That's the big guy they call Booger. Anthony McFarland, all 6'1", 290 of him out of Winsboro, Louisiana.
Well, if you're going to play defensive tackle, you got to play across the face. He plays across the face to the center. He's against Hoover, slides down the line. You can't make a better play. I'll tell you, we're seeing great line play. I mean, all the fundamentals that you look for. That's how you congratulate a defensive lineman. You kind of smack them, pop them in the head a little bit.
3rd down, 16. 4 wide receivers for the Bulldogs. It's a very important defensive stand by LSU now that they have the lead. Shotgun. Tate dumps it incomplete. Woodbury was actually blocking Mark Roman. He didn't even turn around. I think Derek just had to get rid of it. Threw it down at the body of a wide receiver.
Yeah, this is an interesting play. Look at Tate. He's looking Woodbury. You see Woodbury, number 1, blocking? Now, I see 28 going out there. That's Jeremy Jones. He's on a fly pattern. Maybe that's where the ball was going, but Tate obviously took something off the football, so he's going to give it back to LSU in good field position.
Russ will be forced to punt from the goal line. Should get it off around the 5. High, and a fair catch called for by Kevin Falk at the 49-yard line. You know, years ago, LSU players would run onto the field. They have a history lesson, a plaque describing the H-style goalposts that were in Tiger Stadium from 55 to 84, and then a section of the crossbar from one of those goalposts is now in the locker room, and they'll come out and tap it on the way onto the playing field, and they got those H's back, the H-style, back in Death Valley 3 seasons ago. Some of the many traditions that you can find in the Southeastern Conference, many of them held very close to those that follow LSU football. 1st and 10 Tigers at the 49 of Mississippi State. Out pattern is thrown incomplete in a dangerous place because Brown, 18, had a chance for the pick. Had that pass been thrown a bit better, it was intended for Chris Beard. Eric Brown is the best defensive back that Mississippi State has, and it's typical when we mention best players that he's been injured most of this season where the Bulldogs are concerned.
Well, you know, what's interesting about that to me, you've just run the football down the throat of Mississippi State. You've taken momentum back, and now you haul off and throw the ball on 1st down. I just keep on running until they stop me.
2nd and 10. Look at that quick move. I mean, he just went right away from Sluter, 48. I think he had him in his sight. Then Kevin with that quick juke to the right, just to slide right around him.
Now watch this hole he has to slide. There's the trap out, kick out. Now watch right here. Plant, just kind of break through the tackle and pick up another 5 yards after the contact should have been made. He almost freezes that defensive back when he comes up because he's so shifty. He's got that weight just under control, makes that quick slash that the defensive back coming up just freezes. It's like he locks his feet in the ground.
Snap from center, and Mississippi State has it at the 42. Those little things you take for granted. Those are the things that will prop up in conditions like this.
Yeah, this is what happens when the center, when you pull your hands out too quick. If you pull your hands out too quick, watch the quarterback's hands. See, they're already coming out. The ball's down. Now he's just got to get back on it, but you see the surge there. I think that might have been Dobson in there that really drove the center back, 98, who drove the center back and didn't allow Tyler to get on the football.
Gregory Favors had the recovery. His first fumble recovery. And now Mississippi State tries to return the favor after a turnover by LSU.
You see the difference in the turnover ratio.
Tate lets it fly. A fly pattern for Jones. Jeremy Jones drops it at the 11-yard line.
Oh, no.
Your heart just has to go out to that young man. He had a touchdown catch of 81 yards against Auburn. Cedric Donaldson was there, but he fell down. And that's got to be the loneliest feeling for any player in today's game.
Well, I thought he was interfered with. You're going to see him going down the right side. Now watch right here. See if he's not interfered with. See right there?
Well, he's falling, though.
Yeah, that's true. But, oh, he just drops a sure touchdown.
Boy.
Watch the tail end of this. He just drops it right through the old breadbasket.
There's the pitch to Isaac. And Isaac near midfield at about the 49-yard line. Anthony McFarland made the stop, a 7-yard gain.
Where did we see Jeremy Jones make that great pass reception? About 80 yards. When was just
that was, yeah, I just mentioned it was at the Auburn game.
Yeah.
81 yards. It was at mop-up time, but it was still a heck of a play. He's a great speedster. Deceptive speed. He was a 200-meter champion in high school in Asheville, Alabama. 3rd down and 3. Tate's pass caught by Woodbury inside the 45 at the 43. Denard Walker, the corner, was there to cover him.
And Tim, this is the Derek Tate that we've been used to seeing. Throwing that ball with accuracy, with confidence. You just see him. He's just in the huddle. He's taking control. Woodbury coming down with a big catch, but Tate really has control of his offense right now. He's got a lot of confidence. He's throwing strikes.
Out of the I formation. LSU blitzing that time. Robert Isaac stopped by Sutton and Stansberry. Sutton, number 90 in white, the defensive end who's been getting some on-the-job training at that other defensive end spot. We touched on Derek Tate coming back, and one of the reasons perhaps he's getting the starting nod today. This game is being played out of Starkville. He's been roundly booed. Matt Wyatt won the South Carolina game as a starter, actually bypassed Tate on the depth chart after that. But he's a freshman of some influence. We expect to see him today. Wyatt with time. Incomplete. Cameron Floyd slipped down at the 25-yard line. Pass overthrown.
You know, that's an interesting pass right there by Tate. He feels pressure, drops back. I know he doesn't throw a completion, but he's got confidence in there. There's Wyatt. He's the, I guess you'd say, the heir apparent, but he's going to sit down. But really, that time Tate felt that pressure, slid out of that pocket, and looked downfield.
There are the numbers on Wyatt. I think when you think of the ability to sprint out and get away from pressure, that allows more options for the Mississippi State offense today. So Wyatt, really a pocket passer. 21-14, LSU leads.
The brand. In the West, it's the way a man marks what's his. We're the beef people, and our WD brand is on every steak we sell. It means our U.S. choice beef has been specially aged and trimmed to ensure more flavor, more tender, juicy beef. WD brand, the mark of quality from Winn-Dixie, the beef people.
Babonzito. Parce que me fait jeune gens, même gens y là.
Language. It's how we communicate with each other. But not all of us speak the same one. So at Bell South, we have people you can reach who speak several languages, whether it's Creole or even English.
I'm so glad you have me good.
Bell South, it's all here.
When you're in the mood for desserts, Sonic gives you a whole new menu of choices. Introducing Sonic's new frozen favorites. Banana splits, hot fudge cake sundaes, root beer floats, creamy vanilla cones, old-fashioned malts and shakes, banana fudge sundaes, and more. Frozen favorites at Sonic.
In our neighborhood, carpooling's a way of life. That's why I drive a Ford Explorer. It's got more room for the kids than Cherokee or Blazer. Standard dual airbags, anti-lock brakes. I don't know, in the Explorer, I just feel safer sitting up a little higher. Is everybody ready for the big game?
Now save over $1,900 in package savings on a 96 Ford Explorer, America's best-selling sport utility. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Along with Bob Kessling and Dave Rowe, Tim Brando, happy to be bringing you our Bell South SEC Game of the Week from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And Mississippi State now with a 3rd and 7 at LSU territory at the 40. 4 wideouts again out of the shotgun formation for Derek Tate. Stansberry again. Markers down.
Oh, and if this is going to be defense offside, it's going to be a killer. Everybody's holding their breath looking at that yellow flag over there. Stansberry just on a straight blitz right from the corner. Untouched.
Al Ford will tell us about it.
Illegal formation on the offense. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. The penalties decline. 4th down.
Now Stansberry's right there, 43. Look, nobody touches him. Tate has nowhere to go except back. Stansberry runs through him. Boy, that's what you want linebackers to do. Run through him. Don't run to him and dive, but run right through him and wrap those arms up. That's what Stansberry did so well.
Playing with some attitude today as Russ punts it away, this time from about the 38 of Mississippi State. Fair catch again called for by Falk at the 17, maybe the 18-yard line, a 36-yard punt by Andy Russ.
Boy, Timmy, you talk about a turnaround. As we look at the injuries, you talk about a turnaround. Well, that play was a turnaround.
Bruised shoulders, they work on Kendall Robertson.
When you're already talking about depleted ranks on defense, you got a lot of people injured there. Terry Day, of course, Simpson, Robertson, Hill. Golly, they've got a bunch of guys in.
Most of LSU's injuries today, we've seen the players return to the game, that being LaFleur, who had the shoulder problem, Tyler, as well as Greg Hill. Kevin Falk gets a couple and a little slow in getting up. You made a very interesting point. A lot of times you see injuries, but not the severe ones in conditions like this.
Well, whenever you have wet turf like this, a lot of times the injuries that are caused by planting, the foot getting stuck in the turf. When you've got it wet like this, the feet never get stuck in the turf. They're sliding. They get pulled out, so you don't get the tremendous trauma on the knees and ankles.
2nd down and 7. Falk again. About 3 yards shy of the 1st down at the 25-yard line.
When you talk about big downs, this is a big down. Derek Tate knows it's a big down for his defense, because if they're able to hold him here, they'll get good field position and put him back in. Herb Tyler's over there saying we need a 1st down.
3rd down. Jerry DiNardo allows himself to get a little more wet than Jackie Sherrill. Well, I think Joe Lee's not as fashion conscious as Jackie. I'll go ahead and get wet.
Fashion conscious?
Yes. Somehow just not many guys with 2 first names are fashion conscious. 3rd down and 3. There's a slip. Falk again. He came right out of his shoe and fumbled it. Now, I think they may rule him down prior to the fumble when Derek picked it up, but he lost his shoe as he was making the cut to get the handoff.
And he stayed down. Well, I see him. He's still laying on his face there.
And everyone is quiet in Tiger Stadium. Well, he may have been playing possum. He gets up, bounces up as soon as the trainers get there.
And I was just getting a break, but watch this here. Good penetration. Favors on the outside really knocks the guard back. That's a good penetration there. Now you see the cleanup there. You see right there, the ball comes out. That's a heads-up play, but he was down. The ground cannot cause a fumble.
Lacoste and Garner having a big day today. Kessler has to punt it away quickly, and boy, did he get all of that with the wind behind him. Isaac down the sidelines. Great tackle by Cummings at the 40-yard line. 47-yard punt, 10-yard return, and Chris Cummings makes the stop.
And Mississippi defense does the job. They hold them. They get good field position. As you see, the score 21-14, 3:41 left in this quarter. They've done their job. Now it's important for Derek Tate to come out, lead his offense down, and get some points out of this possession.
Mississippi State with the ball at their own 40-yard line. Curry trying to exalt his troops, his defensive people that have stepped in for him. Garner, in particular, has played well. Tate out of the shotgun again. 4 wide receivers. Tate. That pass thrown again behind Lahidi Grant, and it's that pass, the crossing pattern, that he's been consistently throwing a step or 2 behind his receiver.
And if he leads Grant on that play, you're going to strike up the band, because Grant's on a crossing pattern, left to right, and watch if he leads him. He hits him right there. Look at this. Nobody behind him. I mean, you see nobody in front of him. You're not going to catch him on the dead run.
Tate is now 1 for his last 10. So he got off to a great start. At one point was 5 of 6. Now he's 6 out of 18. Buckhalter runs right into Sutton. Mike Sutton, junior from New Orleans. There's some young defenders, guys like Theo Williams and Johnny Mitchell, that are getting some ink, but Sutton makes the play right here.
Boy, the defensive linemen love this. It's called tackled for a loss. That's a big play. That's what they put up on the bulletin board. You can see Sutton gets up, celebrates it.
3rd and 15. Jeremy Jones has come back in, matching up with Denard Walker at the top of your screen. 4 wide receiver set again. Here comes Stansberry. Pass is thrown up into the air. Very dangerous scenario with Rayon Hill in position to come up with a pick. It'll be a punt formation coming for Mississippi State, and Tate's a little upset with himself.
Well, he should be upset with himself, because he really threw the ball. Remember the 2 interceptions he had in the Auburn game, but you just can't throw that ball up for grabs. That had interception written on it all the way out of his hand. I know he's under pressure, but you've got to just stay in there.
Andy Russ will punt it away. Falk standing at his 15. Again, a quick, very quick fair catch called for by Kevin Falk. 37-yard punt. Let's go down to Bob Kessling.
Yeah, a guy the Bulldogs really miss is middle linebacker Dwayne Curry. Dwayne, it's a complicated injury, basically a hip sprain and a chip bone in there. Could you be back next week?
Possibly. I'll be back next week. It's getting better every day. You know, I'm just taking it day by day.
Last 2 weeks, you haven't done much of anything, though, have you?
Not really. I tried jogging a little bit last week, but it got sore again, so I'm just taking it easy right now, trying to get it well.
Basically just painful now.
Yeah, it's just painful. You know, it's just so.
Hope to get you back next week,
Yeah, I hope so, too.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
He got hurt at the end of that Auburn game, you'll recall. And even with the extra week's rest, Mississippi State had a bye week, he was unable to go to that. Ball. Stopped at the 33-yard line. Mississippi State's Gregory Favors going for the strip that time. He lost his shoe again.
Yeah, he keeps on running out of his shoes.
Kevin may have to grow some cleats before this day is done.
Well, he bursts into the hole, and you'll see him just step over top. Right there, he's just got such great vision. Now he sees it right there, back to the outside. See him right there, get up. Now right here, you see his shoe come off. Boy, I'll tell you one thing. I love the vision that he has. You just can't coach that. That's just something you either have or you don't have.
1st and 10, just over 2 minutes to play in the half. Mealy. Boy, Brown had a shot at him. Could not bring him down, number 18, Eric Brown. 6-yard pickup for Mealy.
McGill knocked him out of bounds.
McGill finally knocked him out. It'll be 2nd down and 4. So Mississippi State's defense will be called upon here to get the job done and keep their team within striking distance at halftime.
Yeah, I think what they want to do is that Mississippi State just wants to hold them here, get the football back. 2 minutes left in this quarter. And they may have to tape his shoes on. A lot of times you'll see running backs, they'll tape their shoes on just to keep that arch support up in there and keep it tight.
Mealy, a huge hole. Stopped at the 45. Nelson, number 17, makes the stop. A 17-yard gain, and boy, they're really opening up some gaping holes, this LSU offensive front.
Well, what they say is just get an even up with that defensive lineman, and I'll find the seam. You see the switching back and forth. If his offensive linemen just tie up, they just tie up the defense, then he just kind of scoots through. He's always looking. He, again, has that same vision that Falk has. They just run to daylight.
Double tight end look for LSU on 1st down. Tyler looking for Savoie. Nicky Savoie at the 13 of Mississippi State. Well, it was a jump ball, and the big guy from cut off Louisiana. He gets up to make the grab.
Yes, he goes up and gets it. It's a throwback. What you do is you look strong side. Everybody's looking. Now watch, it's the last second. You see him look back, throw the ball high, use that 6'6" size of Nicky Savoie. He goes up against the defensive corner, and he wins.
Adesela Badan was there covering 25. He began to slip, and Savoie reeled it in. Driving rain starts again. Mealy breaks a couple of tackles and manages the 10-yard line. Derricks made the stop. Gregory Favors had a shot at him.
Yeah, they had a shot in the backfield. Watch the line play in here. Good shot right here. You're going to see right in here. You're going to see right there. You're supposed to make that tackle. See the difference between making that tackle and not making it? 5 yards.
So a timeout taken by LSU. 53 seconds remaining. Both teams have 1 timeout remaining in the half.
Well, the last time they were in this situation, they pitched strong side, ran that little pitch with that trap, used Perry on it to kick out, and got 2 great blocks. I think I'd go right back to it.
It's been an entertaining first half. I know Bob Kessling has plans to keep it that way come the intermission.
I tell you what, the wind has really picked up and the rain is now driving. At halftime, then we're going to talk to both coaches to get their thoughts about this first half. Also, we'll look at the plays of the week from the past in the SEC. We'll get you caught up to date on the statistical leaders. And also, we might have a surprise or two for you at halftime. Coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Bob, you need to call makeup. I see you guys I'm telling you, we're nice and dry up here, but either he's sweating really big or the lens is getting very wet.
Well, if anybody can do it down there, Bob Kessley's got a lot of experience in the mud.
Second down, 8. LSU at the Mississippi State 10. Tyler almost fell while going back over the middle. And that one could have been caught. Chris Beard had it. He knew he was going to be popped. That might have had something to do with the drop. But the pass could not have been thrown any better.
I thought Anthony Derricks was going to get this. Watch number 6 react back there. He's right on the bottom of your screen. Right there. I thought he was going to get the football when it popped up.
Think he heard footsteps from Derricks?
Oh. Yeah, watch number 6 come into this picture. Derricks is 6. Watch the ball. It almost goes right in his hands. Right there. He had it in his hands.
Third down and 8. Falk is the lone setback. Yaman Adams, number 5, is in the game at the bottom of your screen. Draw on a Falk. Falk. Well, he may have the first down.
Well, that's a good call down here. Now you got to run hurry up.
No, that was nearly. Well, that was nearly.
He wants him to spike the football.
Yeah, he has to spike it. Clock will reset. I think he may have fumbled the football as he hit the deck.
Yeah.
And that was the reason for the concern as he went down to the field. Somebody, I believe, Adams came up with the ball. Someone came up with that ball, and so now the question is it first down? And it is a first and goal for LSU.
Boy, and LSU really gets a break there because what they did is they got the chains moved. You see, he was trying to call for the spike, trying to run the clock, to stop the clock. 32 seconds left, and he gets the chain measurement, which stops the clock.
And, you know, I think the fumble actually helped him. It got the chains out on the field. High formation now. Falk again. Touchdown, LSU.
Well, where do you go when you need it? You go behind your best lineman. That's Borderline and Faneca.
That's a soggy but happy coach. And the extra point by Ritchie is good. 28-14, LSU leading by a couple of touchdowns and an important drive to close out this half.
Yeah, huge drive. Drive to the run to the left side there. You get a good block, good kick out from there. That's Thomasy, the left tackle gets a good block out there, and then you just kind of push in there. That's Falk's 9th touchdown. And he knows where to go. He just kind of wiggles his way in there, follows those big men.
He has 125 yards rushing on 21 carries. We've only played a half in very difficult conditions for a running back.
Hey, Bob Kessley did find something to keep him dry.
I lived down here for a lot of years, and I can tell you, you could see that almost any day. Every day can be Halloween at times to this part of the country. They know how to have a good time. Kevin Falk is certainly having just that, a good time in this first half. There's Isaac, who has a 60-yard return today. Boyd will kick it away. Just 18 seconds left. Gives it to the up back. That's Greer. They come to the end of the half. He'll hit the deck at about the 33-yard line with 12 seconds left.
Greer, return the kickoff.
When you see the center of that field starting to get chopped up. Busy day for Mr. Falk. Already over 100 yards. That's a great game for a full game, and he's only at halftime.
Field getting beaten up. That makes that touchdown to close out the half. Very important to extend your lead in these conditions. Very important. There are 7 inches of sand under this field that helps absorb the saturation, but no tarp to go on top of this field when they knew the rain was going to come down for the last couple of days. Greer takes it right up the middle.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting in talking with Jerry DiNardo. I said, what'd you do about the tarp? He said, tarp? What tarp? That's over on the baseball field.
On a soggy Saturday in Baton Rouge, LSU has a 28-14 lead. Had to come from behind to get it. had a couple of key defensive plays to turn the game around. And let's go down to Bob Kessler.
Coach, talk about the first half.
Well, you know, it was tough in the beginning. I think it's going to be a tough second half. Our team's fighting really hard, and so is theirs. The weather obviously is going to be more of a factor than it was the first half. That's why that last touchdown was real important.
Does the weather change your game plan right now?
Yeah, I think you have to be careful when you're coming out of your own end zone. That's why we played a couple series that way, the way we did.
Coach, thanks.
Thanks, Bob.
Jerry DiNardo heads to the locker room. His team fought from behind to take the lead, 28-14. And a rainy Baton Rouge will have more at halftime coming up in just a moment.
Today's Bell South SEC Game of the Week is brought to you by Sonic, where we invite you to drive in for a change. By Ford. Drop by your local Ford dealer today and check out 5 of the 10 best-selling cars and trucks in America. By Winn-Dixie, the low-price leader. And by Nationwide Insurance. Check the yellow pages for the Nationwide agent nearest you.
We keep you moving. We keep you moving.
At BP, our high-octane Super 93 is formulated with our highest level of engine cleaning power. Super 93 delivers everything you demand in a premium gasoline, so you can concentrate on more important things.
We keep you moving. We keep you moving. We keep you moving. We keep you moving.
Oh, everyone needs someone who will be there. Everyone needs someone on their side. Sometimes you know you need a friend. What's coming around the bend? Nationwide is on your side.
The 12 schools of the SEC have a tradition of great plays in the stadium and excellent work in the classroom. Golden Flake is proud to be a corporate partner with the Southeastern Conference. In this partnership, we help students succeed through sport.
Out watching the game as they're eating a little hot boudin and cold couscous.
Yeah, we'll tell them, get that chicken ready. I put the basting on it to start. Get it ready.
LSU, ranked number 13 in the country and trying to move up. They lead Mississippi State 28-14 at the half.
Cover gaskets leaking oil onto your manifold.
It's all part of the job. At Advance Auto Parts, we're not afraid of getting a little dirt under part number 82. Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Hang 10 in 132 horsepower, 16-valve, overhead cam, 4-wheel independent suspension, cab forward, gnarly Dodge Neon Coupe. Dude, say hello to Dodge Neon. See the cars and trucks of the Carolina Panthers at your hometown Carolina Dodge dealers.
Get Jefferson Pilot Sports' exclusive presentation of the Bell South SEC Game of the Week is brought to you by the Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance Company, the vision to power your dreams. By your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, I love what you do for me. By Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. And by the new Dodge. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, sopping wet with a downpour at halftime. Cheerleaders are wet, but the good news is the rain has stopped for the moment. Mississippi State trailing 28-14 to LSU. Bob Kessling talked earlier with Jackie Sherrill.
Coach, talk about the first half and what you talked your team about.
Well, at halftime, we make the plays, just like Jeremy dropping the ball, and we gave them 2 big plays early and then come back. But our problem is we're losing defensive linemen, and we're down pretty thin there. And
Day won't come back?
No, we got Day, and we also have Michael Lindsay probably won't play, so we're down. Hopefully, I hope you don't have to play, or I don't.
Oh, row. Thanks, Jack.
Okay.
It's an endurance test for the rest of the season, really, for Mississippi State with the injuries that they've had.
Oh, they have just been, I mean, it's so tough to coach when you don't have all your players at full speed, but when you don't even have a bunch of your players, it's even tougher.
Well, the possession chart looked awfully good in that first quarter when Tate was hot, hit 5 of his first 6 passes, and then all of a sudden a lot of punts for Andy Russ in the second quarter as they were unable to get that offense going. A lot of drop passes, and Jackie mentioned the one by Jeremy Jones. That, along with the interception by Wiley, loom largely in this 2-touchdown deficit Mississippi State faces.
Oh, yeah, those are huge plays, and you see the tail end of that number of plays. They haven't put many first downs together.
Danny Boyd, freshman from Bradenton, Florida, will kick it away. They took the red shirt off him before the Kentucky game. Wade Ritchie handles the field goal and place-kicking chores, but Boyd will kick off.
When you see the water right in the middle of the field, that shiny stuff is water.
And a squibber that is picked up by Mississippi State beyond the 35-yard line. We are told that we are having some transmission difficulties because of the weather that has befallen Baton Rouge today. We're doing our best to bring you the best pictures possible, so bear with us. Do not adjust your set. We will come back and deliver as best a broadcast as possible. Look at all this water coming out.
Look at that. He almost missed the ball. And when you can't put that plant foot down, you can see the ball. That's just standing water. It's going to get a mite sloppy here.
From the 38, Tate remains in at quarterback. Isaacs slides forward to the 42, maybe the 43-yard line.
And what happens now is you see defensive linemen, everybody starts to play flat-footed now. The offensive linemen, the defensive linemen, they all have to play flat-footed. They can't get up on that toes and dig in. Then the running backs have to run flat-footed because they're so afraid of slipping down in that, so they've got to run flat-footed. The entire speed of the game really changes when you've got this much water.
Second down and 6. Isaac again. Chuck Wiley makes the stop, number 55. We mentioned a junior player that really does need to step up. He probably got some good news that he's a finalist or semifinalist in the Lombardi Award this week. Has already cashed in with a vital pickoff to lead to an LSU touchdown when Mississippi State, frankly, was driving. That was the last decent drive Derek Tate had going.
And it's big and really important now for Tate to get a good pass in this situation. It's almost a sure pass situation. And sometimes the passing is the thing where you can really pick up in the rain.
Double tight end look, though, from Mississippi State. Belcher in motion. And they pitch to Isaac. Nothing doing against LSU's defense. Charles Smith, 35. Freshman from New Orleans, the middle linebacker who bypassed Marquise Spears on the depth chart with a nice job.
Watch Smith, 35, slide the line. He's going to meet him right at the intersect of the line. Right when the back turns up, bang, he hits him right there along the line. That surprised me because I thought Tate would go to one of those passes, just one of those little dump passes. Sometimes receivers really have an advantage in the rain. I know the ball's wet, but the footing is slippery.
Andy Russ will punt it away. Falk is standing at his 10-yard line. It's a high punt. Fair catch again called for by Kevin. Just outside the 10 at the 11-yard line. LSU will have poor field position to open this second half. A 42-yard punt by Russ. And look at that. They backed up on that first series, which allowed Mississippi State a chance to get the lead, but then came right back with a 72-yard drive. A very consistent running game throughout the course of the entire half.
I think the biggest series they had was when they were backed up on that 2-yard line. They didn't give the football right back. They drove it out.
Nicky Savoy in the game and in motion. Right up the middle, Kevin Falk. Paul Lacoste, number 20, makes his 9th stop of the day. Between he and Ernest Garner, between 54 and 20 in the maroon uniform today, there have been 16 tackles. 7 for Garner and 9 for Paul Lacoste. Foster comes back into the game. Savoy leaves, and look at that. They're going right behind Faneca and Bordelon.
Yeah, you look at the total yards. There's only 14 yards to the left between both of them. You've got 180 yards to the center and right.
And that means McClure, Faneca, and Bordelon. Kevin Falk again with the carry.
And let me tell you how hard it is for the linemen in this situation. First of all, you're big men. You got a lot of extra weight. You're all wet. You're sliding along. I mean to tell you, you talk about some tired puppies. When they get down this line, those offensive linemen will be flat out tired. See, they're already got their hands up on their hips. That's a sign of tired linemen. And they got to trudge through this stuff.
At the 18-yard line.
3rd and 3. LaFleur and Pack both in at tight end. Falk tripped up by Lacoste. Every time Kevin Falk touches the ball, and even in these conditions, you get a feeling that he could break one.
Well, you sure do. I'll tell you one thing, Lacoste has really been busy. He's had 10 tackles on the outside. Now watch the slide at the tail end here. Great slide right there.
That's your technical merit and your artistic impression. 1st and 10 LSU at the 27. Falk bounces out, runs right into Lacoste and others. Anthony Derricks, number 6, also in on it.
Derricks and Lacoste.
No, Lacoste, we've called his number all day long, number 20. Watch this, slide across, get across the face. They can't cut him off. He's right in a hole.
He lost 3.
Now, he cut his head or something during the week.
It was his ear. He had a lacerated ear. He had some stitches to put on that. He has 14 tackles already.
Yeah, they said his helmet slipped around and cut something on his ear and had to have stitches.
Look at that, just catapults to the 33-yard line. I think they're going to mark him down at the 32. Garner again, 7-yard pickup for Kevin Falk.
Well, it looks like he's used to running in the mud because he's staying up. He's running flat-footed, keeping those feet up underneath him. When he sees that little seam, he still has some explosion. He's going to be tired, too, because let me tell you, it really takes a toll.
He had a school record 246 yards against Houston. And that was a comeback win. He actually put the ball on the ground a few times in that game, helped put LSU in a hole, and then ran them right out of that hole. And that come from behind wins earlier in the year. Tyler keeps it and is down at the 35-yard line.
I think what happened that time, I think Tyler just didn't want to risk the pitch on the play.
That's the thing that this young man does. He's 9-1 as a starter, and we touched on it, but he's not going to make a poor play. I mean, he's going to give you a chance to win ball games, and he's not going to lose it for you, which as a young quarterback, most coaches just want their quarterbacks to keep them in the game. Kessler will punt inside the 25. Had to hurry it a bit. Isaac at his 30 and down immediately. Boy, Cummings has been down there on almost every play, number 19. 35-yard punt for Kessler. Mississippi State will have it when we return. 9:07 remaining in the third quarter. Tigers lead it 28-14. Back after this word from Bell South.
Life. It's not the sort of thing that shuts down at 5. So at Bell South, we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you ever need to reach us, just give us a call. Anytime. Bell South, it's all here.
What would you say to a meal like this for only $1.99?
Get a little Long John's right now.
Well, then come in for 2 of our famous batter-dipped fish fillets. Crispy on the outside, tender and flaky on the inside. Plus hush puppies and a lot of extra fries for only $1.99. That's more than $1 off our usual price. And a deal on a meal you just gotta get.
Gotta get a little Long John's. Get a little Long John's right now. Get a little Long John's right now. Get a little Long John's right now.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 26, the arm. The arm is essential to the Advance Auto Parts salesperson. Why?
You sell batteries?
We'll not only sell you a quality Autocraft battery, we'll install it while you wait for no extra charge. Just look at those arms in action. Soon, you're on your way with a new battery, and you never even had to lift part number 59. Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
SEC football is brought to you in part by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Tiger Stadium holds a little less than 80,000. About a third of them have left the tailgate. That young lady and many other hardcore purple and gold faithful remain in this building to watch the Tigers lead Mississippi State 28-14. Tate, play action fake, dumps it out to Greer, his fullback. And he cuts it up and is out of bounds at the 45-yard line. That's more of what Lynn Amity, their offensive coordinator, had in mind coming in today, but he too, I'm sure, had to alter the game plan to some extent given the conditions.
Well, of course, the rain really changes the complexion of the game, but they wanted to go to 3 and 4 wideouts, use Tate, roll him out of the pocket, throw those little run passes, use his scrambling ability, but that's all been negated. They had to go back to the basics. And then you start talking about losing players. It's been a tough day for Mississippi State.
Woodbury and Lahidi Grant are the wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. And he burrows into LSU territory at about the 46-yard line. 8-yard pickup.
Tim, that's really surprising. I mean, I haven't seen a fumble. I mean, I don't remember a real fumble where they've gotten hit. This is just big man football, drive them off, slide across, but they're not able to pull that football out. That football looks like it's just glued in their arms.
Well, we had the snap from center exchange for Tyler. That was truly a fumble and a turnover, but and then the hit that caused what was an interception for Wiley had. But other than that, you're right. The ball carriers have done a good job today holding on to the football. Buckholder, another example of some power football. Gets it to the 35, and he's a little excited.
Yes, he is. You see that pump. You want to talk about what it's like being a defensive back. Watch the tail end of this play. You're going to see Buckholder run over top of Greg Hill, 25. Right there. Put the shoulder down. Boom.
34-yard line.
He got up ready to do a little bench press.
You see Greg Hill saying.
His brother Melvin also did start a game at quarterback a season ago. Also out of Mansfield. Up the middle. Greer spun down at the 33-yard line. That's Pat Rogers. Got a piece of him there, number 82.
And you know, when you're in that locker room at halftime, you tell these guys, a lot of them will change their underneath shirts, the T-shirts underneath, but you got to put those same wet jerseys back on. But a lot of coaches, and I'm sure DiNardo's like this, say, wait, what do you mean, what rain? That's why you don't even wear, that's why you don't wear a shirt or anything. You don't wear a raincoat. Now he's got one on a little bit, but Hey, rain doesn't bother those old defense and offensive line coaches.
2nd down and 9. Quick pitch into the boundary. No room for Buckover. Anytime they try to go wide, they wind up in a lot of trouble because Wiley and Stansberry can go to work, and both of them have played very well today.
Well, what Wiley does is he plays with his hands, and that's what you want defensive linemen to do. Not get knocked down. Play with those hands. Play across the face. When he cuts back, you're there. You make the tackle. Just play even up. You see Wiley 55 in there? That's just as well as you can play.
Jeremy Jones checks into the game now for Mississippi State on 3rd down and 11. Jones will come to the bottom of your screen. Grant and Butler to the top. They're 3 out of 10 on 3rd downs today. Here comes the blitz. It's Rogers. Over the middle, incomplete. Matthew Butler appeared to have it, couldn't hang on. Greg Hill was right there with him.
And now what do you do? It's on about the 34, 35, 36-yard line. Do you punt it? This ball is well thrown. We criticized Tate for that crossing pattern, but he throws it right on the money and takes a shot.
He's had some drops today.
Yeah, that ball's thrown right there. You got to come up with that ball. Big play. You had to come up with it. I think you almost go for it.
And Matt Wyatt has come into the game. He is under center. And timeout taken by LSU. So with Wyatt coming out, Mississippi State will at least get a timeout out of LSU as they have time to rethink the circumstances. 28-14 LSU in the rain in Baton Rouge.
Cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame. Wake up the echoes cheering her name. Send the volley cheer on high. Shift out the thunder from the sky. When the odds be great or small, old Notre Dame will win overall. While her loyal sons are marching onward to victory.
I get here early to stock up on Texaco Haviland Formula 3 motor oil because it gives my engine complete protection.
Me too.
Michael Andretti.
Texaco Haviland Formula 3 is formulated to control volatility and fight vaporization. And it's the same oil used by championship racing teams.
Empty.
Tough track, huh?
Take it to the star. And to give your cooling system maximum protection, get Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze.
Hey, want to see some cool things? Where? At the Smithsonian. Famous flyer! To four-wheelers, rocket ships, and lizard lips.
Discover Card is a proud partner of the anniversary celebration.
Reese's Nutrageous is pager compatible. It's an autofocus camera with instant red eye reduction. Nutrageous is a three-way bulb that keeps you warm in the winter, cool in the summer. Nutrageous bounces 50 feet in the air.
When's it coming down?
The enormously enjoyable 2-liter 16-valve cab-forward Dodge Neon sedan. Boy, is it big inside. Say hello to Dodge Neon. See the cars and trucks of the Carolina Panthers at your hometown Carolina Dodge dealers.
This afternoon's game is brought to you in part by Siemens. For leading-edge technologies in electronic and electrical engineering, depend on Siemens precision thinking. With Bob Kessling and Dave Rowe, Tim Brando, 4th down, 11. Matt Wyatt has come into the game for the first time and goes to the shotgun. Now drops back into a punt formation. Fumbles the ball. Now gets rid of it. And the ball is stopped at the 1-foot line.
I think it went in, though.
Now they're going to say the nose of the football got in. Well, what a play by Wyatt just to get rid of it. And then you're thinking it should land like a 9-iron, particularly in the pond that we have on the field of play. And that ball nearly stops right on the foot line.
Yeah, there's the shift, back to punt now. He's going to just try to pooch kick it over the center. He drops the football. Now look at the pressure. Still gets the ball off, and watch it. You can't believe that this thing rolls. This is unbelievable, but it rolls and breaks the plane.
The nose of the football just got into the end zone. by the scantest of margins. And problems again on the snap for Tyler. He barely got the ball, and then the confusion continued as the handoff to Falk led to about a 3-yard loss.
Now you see the snap here. The center a lot of times will pull those hands out fast. You see drops the football right there. Now Biggs gets it up and still gets it to the back.
That says a lot about Kevin Falk making the adjustment, too.
Sure does. The fans are having fun. Aren't the kids having fun?
16 tackles for him. He doesn't mind the rain.
Boy, it's raining harder.
2nd down and 9. Well, they say he actually picked up a yard on the play. That's tough to do. Falk, look at that. In the rain. What a run to the 30. And that is leadership.
Well, that's what you call leg strength, too. He just keeps on churning. He's not going to go down. I thought I saw a piece of his jersey get ripped off on the tail end. Watch this drive of the legs. Keep those legs moving. You'll break tackles right here. That's where he's hit. Now look, pull. You see the piece coming off the back of his jersey? Man, he just keeps on churning.
Again, a reminder, we may be experiencing some transmission problems on 3rd and 1. It appears that he may have the first down. Tyler keeping it. Those transmission problems being caused by rather inclement weather that has had no impact on the faithful in Baton Rouge that have stayed.
This is what you call pouring rain. And look at the fans. The band's out there. They haven't left. Look at when they hit the drums. Look at the drums. Look at the drums right in there. You see when they hit them? Oh, gee.
Well, they say the ball gets heavy. I wonder if those snare drums get a little heavier in the rain. 1st and 10 LSU. Ball. That one's on the ground. Mississippi State has it. Falk kept those legs churning, and when he did, Lacoste made the hit.
They give it to him. They give it to Mississippi State.
Bulldogs have the football. Adam Perry was trying to lobby with the officials, the left guard for LSU, to say that he had it. But Mississippi State's Lacoste makes the big hit that puts the ball on the ground. And Mississippi State will have it when we come back, trailing by 14, but with good field position, albeit in the slot. Back after this local word.
It's here. Let me feel it. 97 626 LX5. I want to touch it. Customized by Mazda. I want to hold it in my hand. With air, cruise control, cassette stereo, power windows and locks, and more. $17,895. Or lease for $219 a month, $500 down. I'm never gonna let go. Mazda, customized for value. 626. I got a passion for the road.
The new band leader's 3-hour practices were really getting in the way of our family eating together.
Come on! Get the dirt, kid!
But I managed to convince him to go back to the old schedule.
You get him to the table, we'll cook. Your choice of entree, 3 sides, cornbread, and a caramel apple pie. The $14.99 Market Feast.
Don't mess with dinner.
For every Market Feast sold, Boston Market is proud to make a donation to breast cancer charities.
It's the only one out there. And here it comes. The only compact pickup to offer a 3rd door. Okay, folks, show's over. Chevy S10, like a rock.
I like Channel 5 because it's fun and it's informative.
I tune in every morning and it's there at night when I go to bed.
I think 5 is fresh, fierce, and fabulous.
I like Channel 5 because it's 5 times better than the rest.
I love Paul Osmond. That man is crazy.
Amanda's great.
Now, let's not forget Brenda Wood.
When I watch sports, I watch Jeff Hollinger.
I like 5.
We like 5.
I like 5.
We like 5.
Watch Favors, 56, fall on it. His second fumble recovery of the day.
Great opportunity now for the Bulldogs as Greer carries it between the tackles. And look at him carry a couple of Tigers with him inside the 30 to about the 29. Pat Rogers and Charles Smith credited with a stop.
Well, if you're going to get back in the football game, and I know Tate wants to get back in this football game, you've got to do it now. With 4 minutes left in this third quarter, you've got to respond. Your defense is giving you the football. You haven't had a hot day. You started off hot, but you haven't been, you just haven't done anything. And look at the skies open up.
Just stick around. It'll change. 2nd and 2. That'll be a first down for the Bulldogs at the 25-yard line. Smith again making the stop. A young linebacker that's excellent against the run. He's started all the games. Like most, though, he's still learning how to drop back into coverage and play the proper schemes for Carl Reese, one of the top defensive coordinators you'll find in the South. Carl Reese, who's been with Jerry DiNardo since his days at Vanderbilt. On 1st and 10, Buckhalter again.
When you see the difference in running styles there, you see Buckhalter is more that power type, fullback type runner. He doesn't change like Falk and Mealy do. When you talk about mud, watch the tail, watch this play. This is what it's like down at field action.
You know, we talked about all the sand that's underneath this stadium floor. The mud comes up. It's almost it looks like quicksand.
Yeah, look at the cheerleaders. They're underneath the tarp. Cheerleaders having a tough time here.
2nd and 7. Play fake for Tate. He drops it. He's ready to make the throw, and as he was ready to cock the arm, boom, the ball just falls right out of his hand.
Well, there's no way to keep the ball dry. Once you slide it up, now watch, when he just, no pressure, nothing. Just watch, the ball just drops out of his hand. He has to fall down on it. Brings up a big down. 3rd down is going to be about 14, 15 yards.
Yep. Mississippi State has got to get some points out of this break that their defense gave them.
This is 4-down territory if you ever saw it. You've got to come away with some points. You're down 14. You've got 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
LSU, 20-point favorite coming into today's game, leading by 14. 4 wideouts for Tate. Here's the blitz. Screens it out to Greer. And Greer is hauled down at the 23-yard line. Greg Hill forced that play back inside.
A late flag.
A late flag.
Oh, that flag was thrown way, way late.
And Mississippi State appeared to be a bit guilty.
Oh, if that goes, and look, they're pointing in Mississippi State's direction.
Yep.
It was going to be about 3rd down and about maybe 6.
Boy, if it was Jeremy Jones on Denard Walker, he's already gotten a drop today, a sure touchdown. This one will be tough for him to endure in the film room this week.
Well, it was so late. The play was over. The players were jumping up and actually going back to the huddle.
Now we're having difficulty with Al Ford's microphone, which is not surprising, but it had to be on Jeremy Jones.
Yeah, that's personal foul. And boy, does that change the complexion. 3rd down is going to be, 4th down and about 6 to go. Obviously makeable, and it was a dead ball penalty, so the play was over, and it's tacked on.
Every time we've taken that shot, I've seen a different sky in the background, haven't you? I mean, it's a beautiful shot, but every time we take it, the sun was out a moment ago. In fact, it still is, but you see the ominous clouds.
Yeah, which way are those clouds going? I hope they're going away from the stadium.
4th down and Wyatt back in again, and he'll drop back into that punt formation again. So the mistake by Jones forces their hand, and Wyatt will get it inside the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at the 5. So another quality punt by Wyatt, 33 yards that'll put LSU back at the 5-yard line for this next sequence. But those kinds of mistakes that happen to a team that has had some difficulty shouldn't be cropping up this late in the season.
Well, those are killer mistakes. And they had a situation where they probably would have gone for it on 4th down and 6, and it was very makeable.
LSU comes out no huddle. Tyler has them at the line. Lacoste again makes the catch of Kevin Falk, which has been a difficult catch today, trying to catch up with Kevin. Well, don't forget you can spend New Year's Day at the Outback Bowl in Tampa. Send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to the address on your screen. Register to win a trip for 2, including game tickets, hotel, and airfare. The winner will be announced during the SEC Game of the Week on November the 30th. You have to be 21 years of age or older to enter. More than crawfish to be found in Tiger Stadium today. Falk bouncing outside again, waiting for his blockers to do the job. And he's very close to the first down. Paul Lacoste.
Who else?
He has been everywhere. Tim Nelson up there to help him just a bit. Number 17 out of that secondary.
When you start talking about 19 tackles for anybody in any football game, that tells you that you are all over the football field, and that young man has been all over the field today. We talked about picking it up. It's amazing. He picked it up.
A quarter has passed. LSU's lead remains at 14. They fire up the band in Baton Rouge.
The brand. In the West, it's the way a man marks what's his. We're the beef people, and our WD brand is on every steak we sell. It means our U.S. choice beef has been specially aged and trimmed to ensure more flavor, more tender, juicy beef. WD brand, the mark of quality from Winn-Dixie, the beef people.
Babonzito. Oh, parce que me fait faire jeune gens, même gens y est là.
Language. It's how we communicate with each other. But not all of us speak the same one. So at Bell South, we have people you can reach who speak several languages, whether it's Creole or even English.
I'm so glad you have me good.
Bell South, it's all here.
Advance Auto Parts is proud to be a corporate donor to the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation. Over the past 2 months, Advance Auto Parts stores throughout the southeastern region of the U.S. have raised over $600,000 to fight the disease. Today, we would like to salute the New Circle Road store in Lexington, Kentucky for its efforts in the fight. Advance Auto Parts and the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation, together, walking for the cure.
Nothing like a little purple and gold pumpkin head action, huh?
What do they see? Oh, they see through the letters.
Tigers leading it 28-14 as we open the fourth quarter. Falk has been carrying the football most of the day. He's fumbled the ball again. Mississippi State says they have it. Paul Lacoste comes right out of there with it, and he does. He's been given credit for the recovery as Falk, who has had a fumble problem earlier in this season. Now it's cropped up on 2 separate occasions. This time, Mississippi State with a crack from the Tiger 21.
Well, that's a good hit there. See 20 going in there? That's Lacoste again. The ball is out. You see the Mississippi State players just diving on the football. Now, you've got the ball on the 21-yard line. If you don't score in this situation,
boy, well, how much more can Paul Lacoste do? He caused the fumble and then recovered it on the same play. The 3rd fumble recovery today for Mississippi State. One on the center quarterback exchange between Tyler and McClure. Tate looking to go up top. Post corner for Floyd. Incomplete. Greg Hill right there with him. As we look at our Burger King stats through 3. LSU's rushing yardage, that is incredible. Falk and Mealy combined for 234. And Mississippi State's total yards really dropping off since the end of the first quarter. And Lacoste becoming a player that we might be talking about in terms of record day for tackles. I mean, he may have a school record for tackles by the end of the day.
Well, that record is 29 by Ray Kostick against Kentucky in 76. He's not that far away. We got him close to 20.
Movement in the Mississippi State line. Boy, when you're going ugly on offense, you'll get real ugly. And we have a marker down as well. And it's procedure with that movement in the offensive line.
See, I think what you do in this situation, I think Tate's got to pass the football. You've got a real advantage because your receivers know the route you're going. The defender's got to sit there. He's got to plant. He's got to react to it.
I mean, after what the Mississippi State defense has done for their offense, to come away with nothing here would probably be the end of it for any chance they might have of an upset. And another drop. Lamont Woodbury drops this one.
Well, that's not like that ball wasn't right in his hands, Tim. He threw that ball. He hit him right square in the numbers. You just got to come down with those plays.
3rd down and 15. You touched on it earlier. 4-down territory in this situation. A field goal try. You think about what it takes to hit a field goal in these conditions, and how much really does 3 help you when you're in the 4th quarter in the mud in Baton Rouge. 4 wide receivers now for Tate. Steps up in the pocket. Not a bad idea to keep it. And Tate going for the first down. He's very close. That's a 14-yard gain. He may be a yard shy, just short of the 10-yard line.
You know what? He dove for the flag on the ground, but the flag was out of bounds. And when the ball crossed out of bounds, he comes up about a yard short. Gets a good block right here. Points it. Now watch right here. He's going to put the ball out and dive to the flag, but he comes up short. About a yard.
Well, obviously you have to be able to get a yard. An offensive football team has to be thinking you've got to be able to get a yard. You've got an opportunity to get back in the game. But they're going right into the student section of LSU. They're going to hear from them. Isaac runs into a wall, but the second surge nets him a first down inside the 10 at about the 8.
Boy, and that's where those offensive linemen just love it. They say wallow down, hunker down, get those feet dug in the ground, dig it out. And they just love it. You see Ainsworth there, 59, 79, that's where they run. Power block right there. You see that's a good block by the up back. That's what you want to do. You just want to just plow in there. If you can't get a yard, you don't deserve to be in the football game.
Greer and Isaac remain in the game. And Ainsworth and Brent Smith did the job with the rest of that offensive line in that sequence. Buckhalter is now the I-back. And Buckhalter inches forward to about the 5-yard line. Charles Smith, the middle linebacker, be credited with a stop.
Now, in this situation, you don't want to get real fancy. You just want to drive the football. Jerry DiNardo knows it. They're in that defensive huddle saying, hey, tighten up in here, guys.
Well, you turn the ball over in games like this, and the underdog gets a breath of life in the 4th quarter. Suddenly you're in a danger zone, because now Mississippi State can play as if there's no tomorrow. LSU has plenty at stake in this game. They're still in a position to win the West. Alabama still has to play Tennessee today and then come here to play in Baton Rouge in 2 weeks. LSU gets a week off after this game. Tate's pass right through the hands of Lamont Woodbury. Boy, I mean, how can you miss that?
How can that ball, you said, I think someone flashed in front of him, but he just didn't concentrate on the ball. Didn't look it in. Watch him. Top of your screen, he's number 1. He's going to come just on a slant. See the ball go right there? Somebody may have flashed, but the ball went right between his arms. Unbelievable.
Third down. Jones at the bottom of your screen. Floyd at the top. 4 wideouts for Tate. Greer the lone setback. Going for the corner. It is incomplete. Hill had a chance at an interception. Butler was the intended receiver.
Well, and LSU gambled that time. They blitzed from the outside and brought outside pressure. See, the outside pressure comes right in his face. Look at this. This is just a jump ball. Going up for the high for the ball.
Well, again, you'll have to remember another drop, this time by Woodbury. It cost Mississippi State a chance for a touchdown. They're going to go for the field goal. They have to have some points out of this. A second turnover by Falk. 23-yard try for Brian Hazelwood. He just does get it through. Boy, it just doesn't come easy when you're 2 and 3, does it? Jackie Sherrill does get a 3-pointer, and it's 28-17 LSU.
From stock car racing to races on ice, Mobil 1 has never let a driver down. From 35 degrees below to 135 above, Mobil 1 has never failed. No wonder every Corvette, Viper, and Porsche comes filled with Mobil 1. Of all the oils in the world, there isn't one that outperforms Mobil 1. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
What would you say to a meal like this for only $1.99?
Get a little Long John's right now.
Well, then come in for 2 of our famous batter-dipped fish fillets. Crispy on the outside, tender and flaky on the inside. Plus hush puppies and a lot of extra fries for only $1.99. That's more than $1 off our usual price. And a deal on a meal you just gotta get.
Gotta get a little Long John's. Get a little Long John's right now. Get a little Long John's right now. Get a little Long John's right now.
It's not sleepy time down south anymore. From Kentucky to the Gulf Coast, from Texas to the Carolinas, business is growing and investment opportunities are springing up right in our own backyard. Morgan Keegan, the South's premier investment firm, brings information on all these opportunities to your doorstep. They find regional stocks and bonds that are tomorrow's blue chips. That's why smart Southerners turn to Morgan Keegan for investment advice. Morgan Keegan, capital for the South.
Them 2 plays are really going to haunt Mississippi State. This ball goes right through. Look at that ball. Goes right through Woodbury's hands. Right through his hands. I mean, you've got to come up with that catch.
That and the one by Jeremy Jones that was a sure 6 loomed very largely. Now that we're in the second half of this game. Savoie takes the pooch kick with a fair catch at the 25-yard line. Next week, our Bell South SEC game of the week, Tennessee and South Carolina. 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central Time. And the Gamecocks handling Vanderbilt in short order. That game being played in Nashville this afternoon. It's 20-0. Tennessee will play later tonight against Alabama. Maryland up on Duke in the 4th quarter in the ACC. Boy, how about Northwestern? If they answered the bell after that Rose Bowl year.
And my old Nittany Lions aren't answering the bell.
You can hear Joe Paterno's voice right now.
I sure can.
Kendall Cleveland, who has been injured, I didn't know after Tuesday's practice how much, if any, he could play by Saturday, but he did practice well on Wednesday, getting a little playing time. Cleveland's in an interesting position, a sophomore from Orange, Texas, and they have a young man that's redshirting this year at the running back position that they're going wild about. They speak of him in terms of Falk and Neely. Cleveland may be asked to play fullback in the future here.
And I think this is a good move by Jerry DiNardo. You bring Falk over. You let him see the importance of his fumble. You sit him down.
And a near interception by Mississippi State. Eric Brown had a shot at it. That out pattern was intended for Chris Beard.
Boy, Brown, he's quite a football player. He's been injured. But this is a good reaction right here. This is a sprint. And he sees he reads the quarterback all the way. Look at him. He dives out, just gets those hands right in front of the receiver. Well, that could be a turnaround.
Quite an athlete. Torn groin that really beset him this year. This is a young man that high jumped 7 feet, broad jumped 24 feet, triple jumped 50 feet in high school in San Antonio. So, I mean, this is the kind of playmaker that Joe Lee Dunn needs more of in order to run that blitzkrieg defensive hit.
I loved it when you said to Joe Lee, how high did he vertical jump? He said, jump higher than the stick.
3rd and 7. Tyler airs it out for Beard. Incomplete. Third down. And it comes a bit late. Izell McGill was covering Beard. He had a little help, and I think that may have been where the flag came from.
This ball was very, very high. Gave a lot of time for the safety to play underneath it. That's offensive. Oh, it's defensive pass interference. It's going to be a first down. Maybe we can see it here. It's going to be the top of your screen to the right. Now see if he doesn't put his hand on the receiver. Right here. Does he put his hand on the receiver?
Yep.
Yeah, early.
It was actually not Nelson, though. It was McGill that got that left arm in there too quickly.
And you know the official in a great position to make that call. Running straight down the middle of the field. That's his call all the way. He never hesitated.
Just over 12 minutes remaining in the fourth. LSU leading by 11. The naked bootleg to LaFleur. And look at the big guy Lumber. That's his first catch out to the 40. A 15-yard gain. Senior from Westlake. The pro scouts are drooling over him. They say that he grades out even higher than Peyton Manning in terms of his athletic ability to play a given position, that being tight end.
Well, he's huge. 6'7". He's a big guy. Makes a big target, but he runs well with the football. And you're not going to take him down with just a little shoulder pop in there. You've got to get underneath. You've got to wrap him up. We thought he'd be a huge factor in today's game, but they have taken that away from him.
Cleveland down at the 36-yard line. And interestingly, Jerry DiNardo, as well as Morris Watts, told us that they had gone against some teams this year where it was obvious they were taking LaFleur away.
Yeah,
they were putting a couple of guys on David LaFleur. We have an update from Bob Kessling. Bob?
Yeah, Tim, Rondell Mealy hasn't played in the second half. He's had a history of some head problems with some concussions he's had previously. Well, he took a blow to the head in the first half, and they held him out just on a precautionary basis. They don't think it's serious, but they just don't want to take any chances right now. So Mealy will not be back in the second half.
Yeah, he does wear a special helmet.
Yeah, he's a specially padded helmet for those head injuries.
2nd and 6. Cleveland. Not much room. I think he may have lost a yard on that play. Smith, 99. Juan Smith, the sophomore, along with Kevin Sluter, number 48, combined on the tackle.
Boy, don't you just love this kind of football? I mean, it's back to the elements. We're not playing on artificial turf. We're digging, scraping, clawing. Everybody's dirty. Mud kicking up in their face. Not that sissy AstroTurf, you know. I mean, we're talking about real football here. I wondered how Herb Tyler could read that on his arm.
3rd and 6. Crossing pattern, drop at the 25-yard line. Now this could be another flag.
Oh, you don't.
Badon, I mean, boy, you stopped him, and the youngster Badon just obviously giving a little lift to Chris Beard. Could have very easily been flagged at a time when Mississippi State just absolutely can't afford it.
Well, I wondered if he thought he caught the football. Because he came in, we saw the ball squirt down. He may have come in at an angle and not seen the ball come free.
Well, I really think the officials did a nice job of giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Kessler will punt it away. He's standing at midfield. Anthony Derricks will drop back inside the 10 for Mississippi State.
Now all you're trying to do is just pin them deep.
Got a little too much of that one, it appears. Into the end zone, and the Bulldogs will have it at their 20, trailing by 11 with 10 minutes left. 36 yards on the punt. But the Bulldogs will have it at the 20 when we come back.
Life. It's not the sort of thing that shuts down at 5. So at Bell South, we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you ever need to reach us, just give us a call. Anytime. Bell South, it's all here.
97 Toyotas are here, and they're moving fast. So take action and head to your Toyota dealer. A full line of new Toyotas. Take your pick. Here comes the new 4Runner with a whole slew of new features and the deals to match. You've seen the new RAV4. Now see yourself in one. Lease it for just $229 a month. Take action. Put yourself in the driver's seat. The new Toyotas at your Toyota dealer now.
28-17 LSU, and Mississippi State has made the change at quarterback. Matt Wyatt, who's been in on a couple of fourth down situations to make the LSU Tigers think a bit, now in. Young man with a tremendous future. Grew up just about an hour from Auburn in Prattville, Alabama. Bulldogs have to accomplish something with this drive in the mud, down by 11. A couple of fumbles by Kevin Falk have given Mississippi State a chance to hang in. Those are the final numbers on tape. That isn't to say that he wouldn't come back, but chances are his day is done. That was after a 5 of 6 start.
And a lot of drops. He got a lot of drops. Now, a lot of times we have an injured player on the field, but a lot of times in this situation, you bring in a new quarterback, you hope he just sparks it. You hope your wide receivers just make those catches that they've missed.
That's Mike Sutton. That's the one area where this LSU team is thin at the defensive end positions. They've utilized, obviously, Theo Williams and Johnny Mitchell along with Rashawn Matthews. The Western Division standings look this way. Alabama playing later tonight against Tennessee. They're the underdog in that game. LSU could pull into a tie with them if Alabama were to lose, and then they get the Crimson Tide here in a couple of weeks. That right now looms as the biggest game in the West. Wyatt's pass airmailed and might have been caught. Tahiti Grant with an acrobatic catch. Now, you talk about Houdini or pulling a rabbit out of your hat. That's a one-handed catch by Grant. This is a team that's had a lot of drops today, and that was a marvelous catch.
Yeah, watch this one-hand catch behind him, thrown high, and Grant comes down with it. But this is what you're hoping. You're hoping that a new quarterback will just give you a new spark.
How good is that?
That's a remarkable catch. This is highlight film. Good concentration, good look the football in, get things happening. That's what you do when you do a quarterback change. Wyatt.
For Grant again. Incomplete. Roman really polished up. Mark Roman, that's the freshman from New Iberia. Interestingly, that young man played for Lynn Amity in high school, was recruited as a running back at Mississippi State.
He's on a crossing pattern here. He never sees the strong safety come in just as he reaches for the football. Plowed. When you drive the football, that's a ball drive.
Yeah, that's a hefty bag.
Yeah, hefty bag of wet balls, but they put it, I think it looks like a barbecue grill that we saw outside.
Second down and 10. Wyatt. Again, overthrown. On that crossing pattern, Roman is really making his presence felt anytime Woodbury or Grant run that crossing pattern. I mentioned earlier, Mississippi State thought they had him. They thought they had a commitment. And then the 11th hour, he decided to change his mind and head to LSU. And Lynn Amity has nothing but kind words to say about Mark. And Mark, during the course of this week, understands that Amity is not one of the more popular past coaches or players at LSU. He has a lot of kind words for his old high school coach as well. 3rd and 10. Wyatt. Down he goes. Wiley again. Chuck Wiley has a sack, a pick, and some huge tackles this afternoon.
He's done everything today. I think there's going to be a lot of players looking for us in the elevators from now on, but Wiley, good penetration, gets in there, scoops the legs out, drops Wyatt. The big guys having fun today in the mud.
Andy Russ forced into a punt formation. Falk is back at his 25. A low trajectory again. Kevin Falk waves everyone off. It stops right at the 25. 46-yard punt by Russ. He is very effective. 7:52 remaining in the quarter. Tigers number 13 trying to keep moving up under the ominous clouds of Baton Rouge.
Our count eats a Reese's peanut butter cup.
I like to eat the peanut butter first.
There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
You want me to tell you what my Discover card statement says? The Puccini, Victorian bubbles, and housewares. My hair. Cashback bonus award is...
How many credit cards make a statement like that?
Wonderful.
It pays to Discover.
Driving a supercharged Riviera is a pretty racy form of entertainment. And now, with these special low lease rates, it's more exhilarating than ever. Riviera by Buick.
Before cars had phones, cup holders, or even roofs, Mobil Oil was there. When Lindbergh crossed the Atlantic, Mobil was on board. Mobil was in the world's first minivans, in the first space shuttle, and in the tanks of Desert Storm. So if you think that all oils are alike, think about something. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 91, your new Advance Auto Parts store. Operational even on Sundays, the Advance Auto Parts store is full of the parts you need. Yet these are not the most important parts in the store. This is part number 1, the Advance Auto Parts staff. Helpful and knowledgeable, this part cannot be found at ordinary parts stores. Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
SEC football is brought to you in part by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
With Dave Rowan, Bob Kessling, Tim Brando, 28-17 LSU, 7:52 to play. Tyler has Kendall Cleveland back in that tailback position again. He carries for a couple of yards. Falk getting a rest, and Mealy, who got dinged a little bit in the first half, has apparently been cleared to practice and prepare for LSU's next game. You see the rushing yards for the Tigers. Now Kendall Cleveland with a chance to make some impact on what is already a stacked against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and you bring in a little bit more experienced running back in Kendall Cleveland. He's a sophomore, a little bit older than Kevin Falk, or of course Mealy. He's a little bit more experienced. He knows not to drop the football.
Tyler on the sprint out will opt to get to the sidelines. Not a bad decision with Ernest Garner moving in on you along with Eric Brown. By the way, Falk today, those 2 fumbles gave Mississippi State some life here in the second half, but he has rushed for 170 yards. And you know, the thing that impresses me most about him, Dave, is that we didn't know how good he would be on a muddy track. He's got those short, quick steps that allow you an opportunity to get the job done, tackle to tackle, in the mud.
Yeah, he keeps his feet up underneath him. He doesn't stretch out. He's not one of those runners that puts a lot of weight on the cut feet. He just keeps his feet up, real short, choppy steps, and he just accelerates.
3rd and 7. That's a fumble, and that's Eric Brown with it. And a break for the Bulldogs again. I mean, that's just blindside, backside pressure by Gregory Favors. And Eric Brown picks it up, and the Bulldogs have new life.
I watched to see if his arm was going forward, and it's not going forward. It was still on the way back.
How many more opportunities will the Bulldog offense get, courtesy their defense?
Wow, that has to hurt.
Gregory Favors, junior from Southside High School, Atlanta, Georgia. A punishing blitz. And those turnovers have continued to crop up for the Tigers. Buckholder gets it down to about the 7-yard line.
Well, you think of what Gregory Favors has done from his outside position. He has 2 fumble recoveries. He's forced a fumble. He's got a sack. He's got 6 or 8 tackles. He has had quite a day. I was a little bit surprised running that play on that. I mean, I'm going to run the football out if I'm Jerry DiNardo. I'm not going to take a chance.
6:33 remaining. Bulldogs back inside that red zone. Buckhalter, about the 5. Now you can say what you want about LSU's problems in not having a pass rush. In conditions today, that's really not been a factor. But their defensive line and linebacking corps has done an excellent job of handling Mississippi State's run game really since the second quarter forward.
Yeah, they have. They really have. They've shut it down. And I see a little bit more concern on Jerry DiNardo. You know, he was kind of coasting along here with this 11-point lead. He had the football. He's controlled the football game. But now, look at that. You see a little bit more concern as he walks along the sidelines.
Woodbury's up at the top of your screen as a wide receiver. He and Grant. Grant will come in motion. Wyatt. Out pattern for Grant. Incomplete. Denard Walker up to the task in man coverage.
Well, that's great coverage by Walker. He's got him one-on-one all by himself on the sprint out. Watch Wyatt. Sprint out, get away from the trouble, and then you watch Denard, 24. He's got that coverage. One-on-one, just plays the ball just as well as you can play it.
Jackie's got to be shaking his head. What do we have to do to get an offensive break inside the 10-yard line?
Well, he's down 11 points. Does he take a field goal, then go down 8? Then he's one score from tying this football game.
I think you have to go for it in this situation. You're 2-3. You're the team that's the underdog. You've been given 2 fumble recoveries, and now a third in this half. Inside the 30-yard line of the opposition, you've got to come away with a touchdown at least 1 out of 3 times.
Well, I agree with you, but again, if they kick the field goal, they're down 8 points. They're one score. That's pretty close. Then we go to that famous overtime.
Yeah, you know the North End is more famous than the South when it comes to goal line stands, and they had one back here in 1959. The 58 national championship team. We talked so much about the Billy Cannon era and that punt return on Halloween night. That's Billy right there, that is the Heisman Trophy winner. He and Warren Rabb combined to stop Doug Elmore to preserve the victory. That was a 1 versus 2 game on Halloween night, and you're right, they decided to go for the field goal. 22-yard try for Hazelwood. And he gets it. Good call, Dave.
Well, you have to go for that. If you come away with no points, then the game's over with 5.5 minutes left. You come away with a 3, you're down 1 score. And you have to say LSU has turned the football over 2 or 3 times to Mississippi State. They could do it again.
Jackie Sherrill almost got a defensive touchdown when Brown picked that fumble up. And he may be banking on the fact that his special teams or his defense have a better chance of scoring a touchdown than his offense.
Well, now comes the situation, do you kick onside or not? I think in this situation with 5:30 left, I think you kick it deep, try to pin them deep, try to hold with your defense. Their defense has played strong football today. Try to get the ball back in field position. If you're LSU, you've got to be thinking onside kick, especially with the ball being as wet as it is. But then again, you've got to think, we've got to control the football. We've got to drive out, get those first downs, and get the clock going.
In this half, the LSU offense, 3 fumbles, 2 punts, hardly setting the world on fire. And Jackie Sherrill, the grizzled veteran that he is, obviously had this in mind all along when he accepted the 3 to make it 28-17 earlier. Hazelwood will kick off.
And you see the spread receiving team is spread out there. They're thinking pooch kick. They're thinking something that's going to be short. And you see them, they're all walking up now. You see how they're walking up? They're thinking, they're not going to kick that ball deep.
One thing to remember is Jeff Walker, who normally handles the kickoff chores, is not in there. It is Hazelwood, which would lead you to believe that they would be going for the pooch or for the onside. It is the pooch kick. Falk at the 18. And Falk gets it up to the 35-yard line. Tigers have the ball, but it's now suddenly a 1-possession game with the Bulldogs down by only 8. A touchdown and a 2-pointer could send it to, as Dave so accurately described, overtime. We've had 11 of the overtimes this year in Division I. Paul Lacoste, the leader of that Mississippi State defense.
Now, if you're on Mississippi State side of the ball, you've got 2 timeouts. You've got 5 minutes and 20-some seconds left. You've got a lot of time to stop them. LSU, they need to make first downs and don't make mistakes.
Double tight end. Look for LSU. Cleveland. Kendall Cleveland bowls over Tim Nelson at the 40 up to about the 43-yard line.
Boy, and that's a great first play for LSU. That's what you want to do. You want to pick up 6-7 yards, bringing up that 2nd down and 4 where you don't have long yardage on that 3rd down try. This is just big power men. You see them pulling out there, moving around the huddle. They're just kind of swallowing them up there. You see Banneker out there, 66 leaving, borderline. They're just playing smash-mouth football.
Jolie Dunn's defense opportunistic in the second half, but they need a stop here. 2nd and 2.
Well, Lacoste, if he has anything to say about it, he'll do something.
Savoy in motion. Marker comes down.
I think he may have run out of time.
James Greer, which is really an outstanding football player, but you have some nicks and bruises that takes players out of the lineup or out playing for a week or 2 weeks, then it really bothers you. But you know, the biggest one we lost was Kiefer McGee.
Right.
I mean, there's no question, and we're getting ready to play one that is a great football player, and I would say that he and Kiefer McGee and Falk probably are the 2 best backs in this league, and right now Kiefer's not here, so you know, Falk has to be the best one, and he is really special.
He's had some exceptional ball games for LSU already this season, and had a big ball game Saturday in their win.
Well, he has the ability to, you know, to make you miss him, but he also has the ability to outrun you, and he's really been impressive on film. You know, everybody that's played him said the same thing. I mean, he's just an outstanding football player, and you know, last year we saw him firsthand last year, and he had his longest run of the year against us. But he is, we have to tackle and tackle well to have a chance against LSU, and keeping him from kind of bottled up a little bit. But I don't think anybody's going to stop him. I mean, hopefully we can slow him down a little bit.
Coach, talking about LSU, and of course we'll be playing LSU this coming Saturday. It's going to be what I always call one of those breakfast games. You know, you eat breakfast, you go to the stadium and play the game. And I think it's an 11:30 starter. Actually, it'll be televised, and we'll be playing LSU. And of course, as I mentioned a moment ago, we had the open week. Now, how's this going to figure into your plans and preparation for the ball game with LSU?
Well, it gave us a week to get healthy, and we had some players that missed a lot of practice time, and we still have, you know, Dwayne Curry that may not be ready to play. We won't know until later in the week if he's going to be ready to play at all. But you know, you have to practice to be ready to play, and hopefully we can get him back on the practice field. So, but everybody else should be healthy and should be ready to play, other than the players that we've lost.
Well, I was going to ask about Michael Lindsay and Terry Day, both of whom are out of the Georgia ball game, along with James Greer, who we talked about. They did have some playing time against Auburn, but hopefully they're coming along.
I think that they'll be ready to play, and you know, Eric Dotson was slow, hampered last week, but he should be back and be ready to play. Terry Day, Michael Lindsay. So hopefully we'll get healthier in that position and get some depth there, because it's tough to play today, especially in those positions, because you're always rushing the passer as a defensive lineman, and it's harder to rush the passer than it is to go in there and play run defense.
We've got a first caller on our program this evening. Let's go up to Lee County in Tupelo, Mississippi, and Dwayne's on the line with us. Dwayne, good to hear from you.
How you doing?
Doing fine, sir.
Well, I just want to have a comment, that's all. I know right now we are struggling a little bit, but I got 100% confidence in Coach Sherrill, and I think we still have a winning season.
Well, thank you. You know, our season is divided into two. You know, we've already played the first half. Now we're starting the second half, and like I told our players that, you know, if we have a winning second half of the season, then we'll have a winning year. We'll go to a bowl game, and who knows? I don't know if anybody on the West will go undefeated. And it's, of course, Alabama looked pretty good yesterday, but I don't know if anybody will go undefeated. And you know, the premier team in this conference is Florida, and they show it every Saturday. You know, they have a large senior class, but they also have some tremendous athletes that's running around on the field.
Coach Stalling was very pleased with his Alabama victory yesterday. In fact, he made a statement, I can't quote him verbatim, something to the effect that they played probably the best game they played to this point. and he still didn't feel they had quite reached their potential yet. But he was well pleased with that win. It was important for them.
Well, mark that 5 yards. That may be a big 5 yards.
Tyrone Frazier's coming to the game at 1 wide out. Markers fly as Cleveland goes down at the 40-yard line. That's thrown in an area where holding would likely be the call. Eric Brown was in on the stop.
I think it was Savoie. I think number 11 held. When he came out there, I think it was Savoie. In fact, I see him looking over at the coach and going, holding, and I think it's on me, coach.
Holding on the offense during the run, 10 yards from the spot, still second down.
Now, you see the complexion change in this game. When you have that 5-yard penalty, it was going to be 2nd down and 2.
Let's go down to Bob Kessling. Bob?
You know, Tim, I talked to Paul Lacoste after we did the Auburn-Mississippi State game. He was very disappointed in how the team played and the effort they gave. And I talked to him a little bit about that, and he said, I'll tell you one thing. There's one guy in this football team that isn't going to quit, and he's not going to let the other guys quit either, and that's me. And I think he is led by example today in this game against LSU.
He sure has. And as we mentioned earlier, he missed vital practice time because of that severely lacerated earlobe. Been playing with a lot of courage today. Cleveland tripped up by Brown. Boy, that's one of those kinds of tackles that can many times cause a turnover. Cleveland, a nice job of holding on as he hit the deck.
And now decision time. Do you use the timeout? It's 3rd down. It's going to be 3rd down and about 12, 13. Do you try to run the clock and save the timeouts? A somersault on the end here. Good job to hold on to that football. You see that other hand come up there.
3rd down and 12. And Mississippi State daring Tyler to throw the football.
Look at Joe Lee Dunn. He's saying you got to get pressure on him, defense.
He said you got to make a play.
That's exactly right.
3:13 and counting. 3rd and 12. Cleveland. Again, same kind of tackle by Brown. And the crowd not happy with that call.
They didn't like it, but it was a safe call. See, I think that's what you should have done on the last series. But again, think back to that 5-yard penalty. It was 2nd down and 2. You get the 5-yard line, 5-yard penalty. It changes the whole complexion of the game. Now you're going to give it back to Mississippi State with over 2.5 minutes left.
The thing you have to remember, Jerry DiNardo, you know, fool me once, that's okay, but you're not going to do it twice, or shame on me if it happens a 3rd time. We're gonna make Mississippi State's offense go the distance as Kessler prepares to punt. Isaac lets it bounce inside the 25, and it finally picked up. That was a little bit of a surprising move by Isaac. LSU's special team sort of relaxed a bit, and he said, let me go ahead and pick it up.
Well, heads-up play. Picked up about 5-6 yards on the tail end of that play.
So he got it from the 24 up to about the 31-yard line after it had apparently rolled dead. 28-20, 2:17 to play.
When you talk about football, this is it. 2 minutes, 17 seconds left. You're 62 yards away from a possible tie.
Most of these fans never thought they'd have to see their defense come up with a stop on the final series of the game, but Mississippi State has managed to hang in. Wyatt, straight drop. Out of the gun. Passing towards the corner. Almost intercepted. Right in the hands of Greg Hill. Pass was intended for Matthew Butler.
Boy, Hill just zeroed in on that ball. Now they're in man-to-man coverage. They're playing a one-deep zone with like a safety. You see number 21 standing back there. He's like a safety. Now all it is just throw the ball, try to react, get back to the football. And that's Rayon Hill, number 21. He's the safety man, standing way back, probably 25 yards off the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10, out of the shotgun again. Wyatt's pass is low and incomplete. Woodbury, the intended receiver.
Now when you think about a prevent defense and you look at this defense with Rayon Hill, like I said, he's 20 feet right. Oh, he's back at the 45-yard line. You think over the middle. Throw that ball, that little crossing pattern over the middle.
Tate, we got off to that quick start. Now is a spectator here in the 4th quarter. Wyatt's pass is caught. That's a 1st down at the 45-yard line. Jeremy Jones looking for some redemption after that drop of a sure touchdown pass in the 1st half.
Clock stops with the moving of the chains. They've got time to get up on the line of scrimmage. Again, I don't know about this prevent defense. Is 25 yards off the ball. Makes a big hole in the center.
Bulldogs have 2 remaining timeouts. Same holds true for LSU. Over the middle, Butler again. A very catchable pass that he doesn't reel in. Greg Hill again was there with him.
You got to catch that football over the middle. That's where the hole is in this defense, right over top of the middle. And that ball's thrown there. You've got to come down with that football if you want to win the football game.
2nd and 10. Grant remains in the game. He's at the bottom of your screen. Again, 4 wides for Mississippi State. Out pattern, this time overthrown, intended for Jeremy Jones.
Intended for Jones. Incomplete.
The one thing that Jones is capable of doing, though, is you continue to see this out pattern. He can run that out and up. That streak down the sidelines, very much in their arsenal.
Well, when you play in the center, the safety off the ball. Look how far Rayon Hill is off the ball. He's 35 yards back. All he's doing is playing the quarterback's eyes, and he's looking for that out and up play.
3rd and 10. Wyatt's pass is incomplete. And another 4th down situation is coming up. Greg Hill is over there. May have got a hand on that one, knocking it away.
Well, you've got to be thinking 10 yards. You can't throw short on this. You've got to throw for the yardage because of the wet field and the slips and everything. You've got to throw for the 1st down yardage. Why not burn one of those timeouts and talk a little bit about it?
They will have 1 remaining after this. 1:30 is left in the game. Our Discover Card players of the game, Paul Lacoste and why not? 19 tackles, a fumble recovery. Kevin Falk, 32 carries, 170 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And as part of our Players of the Game Award Scholarship Program, Jefferson Pilot Sports will donate $2,000 to the Southeastern Conference to be distributed among its member institutions. Now, we have to remember Falk also threw for a touchdown to Larry Foster early in the game.
When Lacoste has played a game today. I mean, when you talk about 18, 19, 20 tackles, that's all over the field.
Talking to Dwayne Curry, who could not play this afternoon. Falk, yes, a couple of fumbles to keep Mississippi State in it, but after all, he's the guy that staked the Tigers to the lead. And we understand why he's a true leader for this football team after watching him today.
Oh, boy. That guy with that head still there, and a tattooed head. And the shark still here, and there's not many people have left.
Somehow I thought that guy with the artwork on the forehead would probably still be here. That was a good guess, don't you think?
How about that band?
A golden band from Tigerland. 4th and 10. It comes down to this play for Mississippi State. Wyatt with pressure. Incomplete. Hill, a job well done again, covering Matthew Butler. And the crowd very happy with its defense.
That's a heads-up play by Wyatt to step up. He got a blitz. Nobody touched the outside person. He stepped up, almost completed it. See the ball thrown a little bit behind. And there's the pressure step up. Look for the, oh man, that's when you get kissed right in the face.
Those missed opportunities for Mississippi State's offense. That's what they'll remember in the wake of this loss. A 20-point underdog against number 13 LSU and a chance late in this game for a tie. Kendall Cleveland hits the deck at the 44-yard line, stopped by Favors and Robertson. LSU will have a week off, then get ready to take on Alabama as Mississippi State utilizes its final timeout with 1:10 remaining. And don't forget, next week it's Tennessee and South Carolina from Columbia's new Williams-Brice Stadium, 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central Time on these Jefferson Pilot SEC stations. And the Gamecocks getting it done, 27-0. They lead Vanderbilt. Well, I can hear Ken Dennis right now with pom-poms. Down in the truck, our director, a South Carolina alum.
Gosh, he's as bad as Todd. That's going to be a real fight next week. Todd and Ken Dennis. Oh, there's a Kansas State up 28-7.
Virginia Tech, one of the better teams that fails to get the national respect. Frank Beamer's done a tremendous job. Our score here, 28-20, LSU. Remember, the announcers for today's game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. We're even given parkers at times in inclement weather, at least if you're on the sidelines. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of the broadcast without express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. This was a classic look-ahead situation for the Tigers, a game that they could have very easily come out flat. Mississippi State grabbed the lead. Their defense played up. I think Wiley and Stansbury were keys today and allowed the Tigers an opportunity to get a lead that in these conditions became insurmountable.
Yeah, really did. They answered the call several times. And I think back, there's several plays that come to mind. The one time when they had the ball on about the 2-yard line, they drove it out, got out of trouble. That was a huge one for their offense. I think of the missed opportunities by Jackie Sherrill's team. Obviously, that pass that Jeremy Jones missed, that was almost...
Biggest play of the game, though, in my view, was when it was a 14-7 lead for Mississippi State and a tough pass by Tate, but he got rid of it. And Jones came away with the ball, but as he was hit, the ball popped into the air. Wiley took it the other way, 21 yards, set up an LSU touchdown to tie it. That was about a 14-point swing right there. And momentum taken away from Mississippi State's offense from that point forward.
And they don't have to snap the ball again now. They're under 25 seconds, and they can just watch it tick down.
Jerry DiNardo's magic wand weaves yet another victory in the Southeastern Conference. They go to 4-1 in the league, 6-1 overall. Mississippi State drops to 2-4, 1-3 in the SEC. As they prepare for Alabama. This is their 8th consecutive win on home turf and their 300th victory at home in Tiger Stadium. A historic day indeed. We'll be back. Oh.